It's just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
I think obviously getting DJ Moore is a boon for them, because you're getting a player who is really if I were to make the comparison, he's not quite an AJ Brown in terms of what AJ Brown can do at the catch point, in terms of using his height. But he's not that far away from what A.J. Brown offers the Philadelphia Eagles, which is basically a primary guy who is an absolute bull in the middle of the field in terms of both short area quickness and the ability to run through you. I mean, this guy's got running back skills after the catch, and he's very good in the middle of the field. But I've seen his game grow at Carolina as a receiver on the boundary. That was where he was kind of weakest, and he's gotten a lot stronger there. So to get him allows the team to use Chase Claypool in a secondary role, and then really allow, if they decide to keep Velus Jones or to continue to use him, and they feel like that they've got value, they can get value from him, you can use him in more of a gadget role, in a way that you're using DJ Moore as maybe a decoy or possible bait there. So you kind of add some value in that respect. But most importantly, you give Justin Fields an excellent receiver who can be the primary guy. And then, with the 9th pick, I mean, you look at some of the guys that might be available, can they get a tackle? I mean, I'm probably not the big guy that you would want talking about, offensive line play more than skill positions. But I mean, if you like Paris Johnson, he'll probably be available, the Ohio State tackle. That's a guy that's certainly worth consideration there. So you can, they're probably going to have, Broderick Jones out of Georgia. There's another option right there. So there's going to be a few guys that they can look into and see if they're a good fit with what the Bears do. Well, the answer is based on listening to you guys talk about what goes on with the front office. The history would point to it's a possibility, because you have a group of people who may overrule your GM, or may compete with your GM as a voice in the room to say, we value upside and we value athletic ability, and athletic ability puts butts in the seats. And there's still a lot of behavior in rooms like this where they believe the great athlete can be taught, even though they're not teaching anything but scheme and game plan, but they're not teaching technique. They don't have time for that. That's what the players are there to do. So, if you look at it from what he's capable of, absolutely he could be a top player. But most scouts, most wizened GMs will look at a player and say, all right, in the first round, we need a player who is a thermostat effort guy. You set it and forget it. We don't need a light switch player. And if you have Jalen Carter, if you think that you've got to duct tape the light switch into the on position,
and you're fucked.
Yes, you're fucked. Exactly right.
unless that dragon was fucking a goat.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago trading up.
100.
Yes!
What?
Here it is!
Just recorded.
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, cornerback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now them all stuck like the two and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks scrolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane. That's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it.
1 point,
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
keeping it 100, baby. Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Birds never lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what's going on? My name is Caden Whitlow, and welcome to Keepin' It 100, the best Bears show on the planet. We got a great show tonight, guys. ESPN 1000 legend David Kaplan is coming on. And we're talking draft. We're talking Bears. I'm so excited to get into it. Let's bring out the boys. Draft Dr. Phil, Shane the smartest man. Let's go.
Claudio got younger and skinnier and better looking.
Here's how much soccer.
You came right out the gate. You were just like right into it. You have no
Timing
clue.
was perfect. Timing was good.
Yeah, it was.
You even scared me.
You had a little bit of the jackal clap.
Did I?
Jackal nervous clap. Hey,
Oh, shoot.
good evening, everybody. Welcome to TTNL.
This is our guy, Caden Whitlow, one of our super producers on the network. Caden.
Gary Franklin was 0 for 6 in the chat, guessing who was going to do the yo tonight.
Yeah, I kept looking. They kept missing.
No one knew who the yo was going to be.
Wasn't him either.
It wasn't him either. Yes, our guy, Caden Whitlow, the graphic guru. This guy, when the team's in a jam, Whitlow's your man. That's
right. That's what the ladies at school say.
Yeah, something like that.
Caden right here, building up. There he is, my number one tackle in the draft.
Broderick
Caden
Jones.
Whitlow creating these graphics.
You guys released those? It's Patreon?
Yeah, we did.
Release it to the
last night.
patron. All the number ones have been released. Shane and I's big board, our top 50 players are coming out.
No, Carr's never going to get to his.
Yeah, I know. We're waiting on cars.
Waiting on cars. Yeah, he's been dealing with a lot, so I'm gonna let him.
Yeah.
There's no bingo nights for cars.
Yeah, right. Bingo.
Although Cars would love to be playing bingo with Angelo.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
We tried so hard to secure a Angelo spot for the draft, but it would have been epic.
We tried.
But
I did include him in the promo for
Yeah.
David Kaplan today
Nice.
in honor of Angelo. I begged him to come back on the show to just lead us into 2023 NFL draft. We're 8 days away. The Chicago Bears are, rumors are all over the place. Everybody's all over the place. Obviously, I don't try to make friends with anybody. The stories and the things that Shane and Ryan Cox share with me and some of you fans, just, I guess what fills my tank, because it isn't bullshit. Like, the tape tells us what it is, and we've looked at, and we'll continue to look at all of these guys. I mean, I think we've looked at almost every tackle in the draft because we obviously feel that that's a huge move.
You're getting some blowback. Your boy Jerome says Broderick is not number I, whatever the fuck that means, Jerome. But
well, he's in Greece.
Phil, no way Broderick is number one tackle. No way.
Well, that's where I can. You know what? And this year, I only put Broderick number one because it's stacked. Like, when you see my top 50, there's 4 tackles right behind each other's in it. That's how good I believe these tackles are. And guess what tackle isn't in that stack, Shane?
I think his name might rhyme with Schmieder Schmaransky.
That would be correct. I've never in my life have heard more people say this. Now, I'll admit I've been wrong about Chance Warmack. I thought he was going to be a superstar. But as far as tackles go, I did, what's his name? The Alabama kid who blew up, kind of ate himself out of the league.
DJ Fluker.
Fluker's trying to make a comeback. I really thought Fluke was going to excel, and that's the worry that you have with someone like that, and that's DeJuan Jones at 6'8", 374. But that, my father, if you're a patron, that's his number one tackle in this draft himself. I'm sure Jerome would be upset with that too. So it's like, you can never win, but that's where I am. And Broderick Jones' athleticism, his point of power and contact.
Listen, I don't have Broderick as my number one. I have Paris Johnson as my number one. And yes, I understand that there's a rawness to his game. But to me, if you're going to base it on complete upside, it's Broderick Jones by a country mile in terms of upside and where it can go. And I'll say this too. If the Bears sit at 9 and they're dead set on drafting an offensive tackle, I can easily see it being Broderick Jones. They may shock the draft world and draft Darnell Wright. I don't think that's out of the
Darnell Wright
realm of possibilities.
I was going to say, I don't see the Bears moving off of Braxton Jones, the left side. So I feel like whoever they draft is going to be playing the right tackle. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like Poles, like, he kind of pushed Braxton last year. I don't think he's going to want to move him after he started every snap or whatever last year at left tackle. Like, they're probably going to keep him there.
Well, that's you got to pay attention to us.
Yeah.
Well, Darnell obviously excelled at the right tackle. He is my number 2 tackle. Breaking news in this draft, Shane Marceau. He is in my top 50 board. If you're a patron, Shane and I obviously have been doing a lot of film study. We don't wait till the last week to check out our Charlie Jones tape. We actually have spoken about Charlie Jones way back in December. So this is a passion for this network to actually watch the tape and not get side payment from agents. And believe me, we've had offers. It's to pump up their players. We're just not going to do that because it's just not right. And that's not how we deal with it. But Darnell Wright is my number 2 tackle over a Paris Johnson. And the tape tells that story. Now, everybody's seeing it. There's nobody I respect more than my dad in regards to his offensive line. You know, he's the guru, my guru. And he has DeJuan Jones, and DeJuan Jones is there. And so is Paris Johnson. So those 4 guys, Shane, right there are immediate upgrades to Caden's guy and Ryan Poles' boy, Braxton. Now, Braxton's working on his craft or whatever, but he is a pencil. He's penciled in there. You can't go into the season and say, we got Braxton on the left. You know what? No. If Paris Johnson, you've scouted and said Paris Johnson is the number 1 prospect at that position for the Bears, he fits our system, he fits what we want to do, then you draft him to play left tackle and they battle it out, and then you move however accordingly. That's how you build championships. You don't build it by, hey, we already drafted Velus Jones, let's not take another receiver, we traded for 2. You're in the 3rd round and there's a receiver from Ole Miss that you love like I do, you draft him because you got a high grade on him, and you let the battles begin. And that's how you build championships. You don't do it based on some Madden fucking replication or some stance on Twitter that you're going to work harder than everybody.
Yeah, I get that. I was just saying more of the thing where, like, you think Poles has it penciled in like this, we don't have a need at left tackle, like it's filled for us, so we need someone that can play the right side, or if you think he's like overall just anyone,
I think it's wide open. I think it's wide open. I don't think there's anybody on I mean, I said it months ago. I know Alex Shapiro didn't agree with me at all because I had Tevin Jenkins in pencil. None of these guys on the offensive line are preventing me from making a move in free agency or the draft because I'm like, oh, I got this guy, we're set. There's just
that's true.
Not that I don't think that Braxton Jones has upside, but he wouldn't stop me from drafting a 2nd tackle. I mean, there's no issue with having a surplus
for sure.
More depth. I would listen. Shane and I talk a lot. I talk with a bunch of people that I really trust in regards. I mean, we just did a show with Big Steve Edwards on our Patreon channel.
James, I don't know what the hell you're talking about there, buddy. You are amazingly wrong.
Yeah. But, Big Steve Edwards, former Chicago Bear offensive tackle, was breaking down tape with me, Shane, and my father, and he came for Paris Johnson. He left with DeJuan Jones on his mind. DeJuan stole the show for both him and my dad. The tape tells the story, and then you look at it schematically, what it is the Bears need, because some Sundays in the fall and Sunday and weekdays in August are 2 different things. They're 2 different animals, and everybody forgets that because the competition starts telling the story. You don't have time to wait on some of these guys. Like, your patience for Velus Jones isn't going to be there when you're trying to appropriately analyze Justin Fields. Now, especially when you got a DJ Moore and you got Claypool and you got a tight end in a contract year and Kmet, you hope then you sign Robert Tunyon. So you're hoping these weapons step up and you don't have to fucking constantly get on these guys about making plays. You hope it takes off. And guess how you do that? By protecting the quarterback. Because everybody, we've said it since the season ended. There is no way you take a receiver at 9. However, where we sparked people's anger is our assessment of the receiver, JSN, he's not worth the 9th pick. And I want to know what of his 4 catches last season stood out to all these people that have projected him. It's the same story for me. Listen, there's no doubt the kid's a talented kid from 2020, 21. You see some great things, but my guy, my number one receiver, actually played last year and played with shit and dominated and is twitchy. So, and then I can go down the list. Like Charlie Jones for me I have him higher ranked than
He can
Jay.
return punts too. I mean, if you go Charlie, if you
What's
needed a
that?
punt returner, he could return punts.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
at Iowa, I mean, before he went to Purdue last year, at Iowa, I don't know, he had so many kick returns. He was so exciting to watch every time they punted the ball.
Charlie's played at 3 colleges. He started at Buffalo. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah.
Been around the world in I.
I saw him up close and personal on the field in Syracuse with Riley and I didn't know a whole bunch about him, but man, I came away from him that game very, very impressed and wrote him down and dove into him a little bit more. And then I don't know, a few months ago, Phil and I were just chatting. He's like, I got to tell you, dude. He's like, I haven't mentioned this. He's like, there's this one receiver. I'm thinking to myself, better not be Charlie Jones. He's like, it's fucking Charlie Jones from Purdue. And I'm like, motherfucker. Seems like we have one of those every single year. But yeah, he's a dog. When you talk about, the guys that aren't afraid of anything, he is one of those guys. He doesn't look overpowering. He doesn't look big. He doesn't look like the fastest guy out there. But man, when there's a jump ball on the sideline, I was like 6 yards away from the dude on the one. I'm like, how? I could not believe he made the play. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Over and over. He's going against Joey Porter Jr., tearing his ass up. He's going against the kid from Illinois, Davenport. What's his name?
Yeah, Phil and I both had Jameson Williams number 1 last year.
Number 1 ranked receiver last year. Even with the injury.
Charlie didn't really show that Iowa his receiving ability as much. But I mean, they had a quarterback situation, and that's the thing. That's the thing with like Laporta or someone like that. I don't know. If you go like quarterback, you see Charlie go to Purdue, put up the numbers, and then I don't know. I feel like if you look at Sam Laporta like a tight end, you could really make an argument him being a pick in the second.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
I mean, even though they have 2 tight ends there already for the Bears, adding another one, even though Tonyan's on a 1-year, Komet's on his last year.
1 year.
Yeah.
That's how this is how you do it. I know I bring up Philadelphia a lot, but if you look at their roster construction, how they do it, you look at their free agents, you look at TJ Edwards, balled out for them this year, had a great year. He was a free agent. What did they do in the draft last year? 3rd round, they took the middle linebacker out of Georgia that was hurt and fell. And now he groomed for a year and he's going to be right into that role. Chicago hasn't done that in forever. I would not, just because Komet and Tonyan are here, adding Laporta to that. Yes. Sign me up all fucking day for that.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, Nakobe Dean.
I'm a big believer in getting tight ends on this football team. And this is a great tight end draft. If you're not a patron, I'm going to ask you, it's right under Shane, keeping it 100. Then it says, and I don't even have my reading glasses because I'm old. Become a patron, thetapeneverlies.com. Go over there, sign up. We've already broken down every offensive tackle. Now this weekend we'll be breaking down centers and finishing up our offensive tackles with Jaden Duncan from Maryland, Bergeron from Syracuse, Jalen Duncan, and Cody Mock, my guy, the toothless Cody Mock.
Pull both of his front teeth out just to break it down.
Do that show toothless.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll finish it up with those guys. We looked at some guards, Skoronski, obviously, wherever people are on him, he is not, in my opinion, at all the best offensive lineman in this draft. He's not the best tackle, and he's not the best guard. There's so much hype around Skoronski. He's got great feet, good athlete. He just lacks that toughness that I think it's just necessary to play at this level, and he doesn't have the hand punch and power that Steve Edwards, myself, Shane, all of us, my father, he's a second round pick. And I just don't understand how people could just throw these things. Like if he was picked or JSN was picked or Jalen Carter at 9, those 3 players to me would rip my TV off the wall. As
a lot of people are talking about corner. What do you think about that? I mean, to me, I think it's a luxury taking a corner at 9, like a corner at number 9.
I mean, if they went corner, I know a lot of people love Witherspoon. I'm not there with Witherspoon as CB1. I'm a Gonzalez guy. I know Phil is too.
Gonzalez is our number 1. Both of us.
The way that I look at it is if they take I'm going to go on a little bit, not really a rant, but an extended talk here on this, because if they go corner top 10, Jalen Johnson is 1 year here and gone. They will not re-sign him. 100% gone. They're not going to. They just won't invest in him. If they bring in Gonzalez, they bring in Witherspoon. That's who they're moving forward with. I don't feel like that they will re-sign Jalen Johnson. So that's kind of a 1-for-1 swap there. Which whatever. But we tend to forget. You look back at Lovie Smith when Lovie Smith was here in this very similar defense. Cover 2 corners are different. Cover 2 corners aren't for everybody. They're guys that may not be the fastest, track speed guys. That's why you get a Nathan Vasher in round 4. That's why you get a Charles Tillman in round 2. That's why, Mike Brown, even at safety, you get him in round 2. Kyler Gordon that they, brought in last year. I think Gonzalez is great. I really do. I love the passion that Witherspoon plays with. I just don't think that the Bears are going to be, if they get on the clock, you hear the rumor of Pittsburgh's looking at corners, Pittsburgh's looking at offensive tackles. I know there's been talk about them with Jalen Carter. I just can't see the Bears sitting at 9 and it being a cornerback, because that's not how they usually do it in this defense. Last year they did it, but you're talking about a second round draft, mid-second round.
You're talking about a secondary that was empty.
Yes.
Yeah, therefore, again, our guest, when he gets here, he was the one who called it, and I'll have evidence of that in his intro. But the reality is, to your point and how you phrased it, it is a luxury pick. And despite what any person is going to say to you, every GM, and there's a lot of fucking guys that are GMs that are probably should be on Twitter with some of these other guys.
Well,
that's the truth.
This is the point, like what Rel is saying, because I said that. Well, they still need 3 corners, Shane. Well,
yeah,
no
get
shit.
one in the 4th round.
You don't have to get one in the 1st round. This is the problem. People feel like if you don't draft O-line, you don't draft defensive tackle, you don't draft edge, corner, whatever in round 1, there's still 6 other rounds, guys. We have 2 second-round draft picks. We have a 3rd-round draft pick. We have 2 4s. They can do a lot of damage. The 1st-round draft pick isn't the be-all, end-all. Yeah, you want him to be the crown jewel of your draft class. I get it. But if you don't take a corner at number 9 overall, doesn't mean that you can't draft one in round 2. They brought in they had a kid in today for the 30 visit, the Trice kid, the corner that's all yoked up and 6'3". They're going to be looking at corners. I just think they're going to be looking at corners a little further down. They're not going to be jumping into them on top, on top of the draft. Maybe they'll surprise me and they will, and I'll be proven wrong. But cover 2 corners, it's not usually the way that they go.
I'd be disappointed. I think the operative word is what you used, Caden, luxury. I think that would be a luxury at top, kind of overlooking the whole field. So look at it like this. the first overall pick, the best player in this draft, undeniably on tape, is Will Anderson. So you had an opportunity to solidify that pick, a position of obvious need. As Shane has pointed out, you have Dominique Robinson and Travis Gibson as the edge players right now. That's it.
That's called a fucking problem, folks.
Exactly. So you're sitting there with that, and you look at what they did last year with an empty cupboard, and you have to look at edge. Then you look at defensive tackle, and they signed Walker, and they signed Bill Andrew Billings as the nose. You got a guy coming back in Justin Jones. So you're looking at the reality of this, and you see where the needs are. Tackle,
edge,
and defensive line. It's empty. It's as empty as your wife's gas tank at the end of the week. That's how empty the Bears' defensive line is. Am I the only one filling up? I know they signed Green from Houston, which he's an under-the-radar kind of signing, Shane. Guy gets a lot of pressure. He's like a bulldozer.
But he falls in line. He's not preventing you from doing.
Yeah, he's definitely not a preventative. But anyway, I don't want to waste any time because my guy, the Cap Man, has entered the building. He's already fixing a plate in the green room of the shrimp and the lobster that we sent over to. No, we have a new intro for this guy. Well deserved. I'm excited about it. I call him Nostradamus, and we have to schedule him on next Thursday before the draft for like 30 a minute to give his bold prediction. But anyway, you know him. He's a legend. He's a friend. He's a goddamn angel, and he ain't even in the outfield. Let's bring him on, David Kaplan.
Make your call right here.
Make your call,
Cap. I'm going to say take the cornerback
of
Washington. Okay, so you still have the Washington corner is on the board.
The in, Cap. There is no trade.
Bam!
No, there it is.
Cornerback Kyler Gordon.
Hey, cornerback David Kaplan. 2 years in a row.
Bam!
At this point, this guy doesn't even need an introduction.
Bam!
But he's getting one anyway.
Hey,
cornerback.
Afraid to speak the truth? No shot.
This is David Kaplan from ESPN 1000.
He's not afraid, even when he knows it's going to create a firestorm.
Never lies. These guys
We could list all of his accomplishments.
Yeah, you look at the tape.
Awards,
My hero.
and Hall of Fame inductions.
Yes.
But we'd rather compliment the man instead.
My hero.
David Kaplan, class act.
When it comes to going above and beyond, Cap has no rivals.
I'm just a fan.
He never asks for anything in return or any recognition. His reward is the smile for doing something good for someone.
Cap's a good dude.
And we're so proud to call him our friend. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for David Kaplan.
I know.
There he is.
Where's my shrimp and lobster?
What's up, Cap?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
How
We're
are you?
ready.
I just came in. I told Phil, hey, 8 o'clock, I'll make it work. I just did an event for Old National Bank. I literally just walked in the door. Me, Lance Briggs, Dan
Nice.
Hampton. Holy shit, do these guys tell amazing stories.
I can only imagine.
They were holding you by the ear, I'm sure. You're like,
Oh, it
I
was
got to get over and
incredible.
talk with Phil and Shane.
I got to go. I got TTNL. The tape never lies.
That's right. I love you, man.
Love you.
It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you, man.
You
Are
too,
you
Shane. How's your
excited?
son doing?
He's doing great, Cap. I told him I picked him up from school today, and I said, "Hey, you know who's coming on tonight?" He's like, "No, who is it?" I said, "It's going to be Cap." And he's like, "Oh, tell him I said hello." He was so excited. He's still talking about you every day for what you set up for him, man. It's so amazing. Something that neither one of us will forget.
As long as he's feeling well.
He is. He's doing great. He's doing great.
God
and
bless.
He's just as excited as we are about getting this draft here. He's looking forward to it.
I got an idea what I think they want to do. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off, but like there's one guy, like I would take an offensive lineman if it was me.
Yeah.
Now, look, Jalen Carter's a wonderfully talented player. I got real concerns about a guy who I just went back and watched some of the Georgia tape from the playoffs.
Yeah.
The freaking guy has no motor. Like,
yeah.
Let's go.
We had Matt Waldman on last week. He said when you have to duct tape your switch to stay on, that's a problem.
Thermostat.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, can he
one
be
of the
taught
greatest
that?
analogies.
I guess he can.
Yeah.
He's wonderfully talented. I like this kid at Tennessee a lot, Darnell Wright.
Oh yeah.
And you put him at right tackle and go, have at it, kid. You're our guy.
Any guy that shows
on
up.
the board. Tom Thayer was with me yesterday. Thayer says take the Skoronski kid at Northwestern.
That's why we fire Thayer. We don't want Thayer.
And I said, what about the arm length and the this? And he said, Jimbo Colbert had the same length arms. He's in the Hall of Fame. He goes, this kid's a monster. So I can tell you, Olin is his trainer. Olin Kreutz.
Yep.
He said he has the best footwork he has seen in a long time.
Great footwork.
No doubt. His feet are amazing.
And he said he's one of the smartest players that he's seen. He said, I tell him one thing, and hey, don't do it that way, do it this way. He never makes the mistake again. He's also got Braxton Jones in his gym. Olin has his own training center, and he said Braxton's the same way. Really, really sharp.
Let me say this. My father, me, and Shane broke down Skoronski's tape. We went back to 2021 versus Hutchinson in Michigan.
Yeah.
And he got annihilated.
Yeah.
His feet are there. His toughness and his willingness to stay with the block. Now, he can improve there, but I don't agree at all with Thayer. I love you for saying Darnell Wright because it's not even close.
For me, that's the best guy for what we need. Keep Braxton at left, let him develop, and put this kid at right tackle for the next 12 years and go, there's our guy.
I agree. He's my number 2 tackle in this draft. Broderick Jones, I have number 1 on the tape, and it's because of his athleticism and his power and his motor, opposite of Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter, I want you to stay there. You come in here hot. You got to take that, as you would say. You came in because you hit right into our anxiety. Like, I have draft anxiety. I really do. I don't. I'm so fucking tired of the Chicago Bears losing and continuing. I mean, Ryan Pace. Let's get Kevin White. Let's do this. Let Leonard Floyd. Let's go to Georgia again. I don't scout schools. So if they have Georgia and they are with Jalen Carter, I'm with you. We watched the tape of Carter. We put aside all the other shit, and his motor is inactive. It's not there. If you don't love the game of football and then you get paid to play it and you have that kind of control, then guess what? You ain't going to play, as a coach, Dave. So it's way not worth the risk with this young franchise. If it was the Steelers, even Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions, the way he's built his culture now, there's an expectation. with Chicago and Eberflus, you're 3-14. Right?
I'm with you. Like if you said Mike Tomlin, that's the guy coaching him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
if
Philly.
you said that
Philly.
Bill Polian, I know, is retired, but he's a Hall of Fame executive. I'm going to roll the dice and take a chance that our culture here, can make him a player. Okay. If Howie Roseman, Philly, John Schneider, Seattle, like if these dudes do it, okay, take a shot. This is your first ever round pick in your career.
Yes.
And you're going to stake your rep on that guy? Good fucking luck.
I can't see
and
it.
He's got ability.
Well, I love you.
Don't get me wrong.
He
We
does.
could wake up in 10 years ago, that dude's Aaron Donald. I'm not willing to risk it.
Cap, what do you think? What do you think? You know, if you gave Ryan Poles a truth serum right now, what do you think? First and foremost, they're looking trade down, most likely.
Yes.
So
one of my roommates at college scouts in the league. So I always call him and go, all right, what do you think? Are we going to trade the first round pick? 100% you're moving out of one. Okay. Then he calls me a week before it happens. Dude, it's getting close. That pick's going to be moved here in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. Bam! 7 days later, the pick is moved. I've been told by everyone I trust around there, their preference is to move the pick. But if the right person isn't available at 9, I don't know who's coming up to go get said pick. Let me tell you one quick story about Justin, or remind me to tell you later about my escapade at the Blackjack table in Vegas on March 3rd. You won't believe it.
Okay. Caden, take that note so we don't forget, because we get talking with this guy. Forget about it. Here we are on the precipice of this, and I have to ask you, if Will Anderson for some reason falls to say 6, are you willing, if you're the GM, to move up to snag him?
No,
you don't want him.
No, I'm not saying that. I have so many holes. What are you going to charge me? What's the surcharge to go from 9 to 6 for a guy that I'd love to have him.
Yeah.
Are you asking me to give you my second round pick? Are you asking me for my second and my third? The higher you go, the more they're going to ask for. I can't do it.
You just got to let the drafts come to you or trade down at this point.
So I'm assuming, maybe I'll be wrong, I'm assuming minimum 3 quarterbacks are off the board by 9. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson, I think, are all gone. The guy who eats bananas with the skin on it, that freak, and
Will Levis.
Kentucky, he's got a lot of skill. Like, put the tape on. Holy shit, he's got a quick release. He's big. He's strong. I also hear he's a jag bag. And I don't know if that he's Jay Cutler. I don't know. So
who the hell puts mayonnaise in their coffee?
Oh, my God. So is someone coming up to get him? Is someone in love with him? Maybe. If all 4 are gone, that means you're getting one of the 5 best players in the draft at 9. So let's assume Jalen Carter's one of them. Tyree Wilson, who I love at Texas Tech. I was at the combine. This dude's walking right next to me. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, holy shit.
That's huge, yeah.
That guy's he literally could tie his shoes without
Alonzo Spellman's cousin.
Yeah, he's built very similar. Little more slight of build right now, but his arms are like so long. It's unbelievable. So Tyree Wilson, Will Anderson. I mean, I love Nolan Smith. I just did an interview with him. He's amazing. But where are you playing him? He's 239 pounds.
He's a stack backer.
He can't play.
He doesn't fit. I asked him point blank. I said, Nolan, because So let me back up. We're at the combine. My producer is taking all the gear so we can do our radio show the next day back to Chicago. There's about 10 guys in Georgia sweats walking down the hall of the convention center in Indy. And they're making noise and laughing and having a good old time. And this dude in the front with glasses on, I find out it's Nolan Smith, turns around. Hey, We ain't in fucking Athens anymore. Act right. And every guy, bam, they snap to it. So I asked him this. I said, I want to take you back to the convention center. Was that you? I knew it was. Telling your guys to snap to attention. We're not in Athens anymore. He said, that was absolutely me. He said, because Coach Kirby Smart, and he kept calling me sir. Sir, Coach Kirby Smart tells us wherever we go, because we're Georgia Bulldogs, we've got a bullseye on our chest. Everyone wants us to fail, especially in Athens. He said, even in our own community, they're jealous of all the success we have and what we get being Georgia Bulldogs, 2-time champ. He goes, in Indy, I ain't letting my guys get in trouble. These dudes follow him. We need a cornerstone leader in there. So I said, can you put your hand in the dirt at 239 pounds? He looked at me and goes, sir, I can do anything you want me to do, and I'll get to the quarterback. I love that kid.
He's got the attitude, great personality. He does.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see his thoughts on Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I didn't want him to think I brought him on to ask him about Jalen, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's a tough place to put a young kid in. And Cap is a professional.
Yeah. Cap, one of the guys that I'm a huge fan of, I know Phil's dad is, and Phil likes him too. I know he's not for everybody, and he is very raw. But when I look at him on tape, I think about Eberflus and what he wants and the hit system. Lucas Van Ness is everything that they want.
Lucas Van Ness is Nolan Smith with a little more size that fits the hits principle. Both those dudes are cornerstone guys that you go, we took that guy, and then you find out he's like Olin Kreutz and Briggs and Urlacher and Peanut, like leaders in the room.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those dudes yet. We don't.
I think he's 275 pounds. I think in another year he's up 290. And I know this is a big stamp. I feel like he's got J.J. Watt upside.
He's a hell of a football player.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%.
The knock on him is the stat that people that don't watch tape or do and selectively. I don't have any biases. I look at every guy for what it is. So then I get very passionate about it once I've assessed it. Van Ness, when playing, is the 180 to Jalen Carter. The motor
doesn't stop.
He's punching people. He's throwing people. He falls down. He chases the quarterback all the way around. The quarterback's running down the field. He pushes him out of bounds for a 4-yard gain, but he ran all the way. It's over and over and over, and he's beating. He could play 3-tech, 1-tech. They lined him up at outside 9, 5-tech the next play. He's doing everything in versatility that you want, but
and your line is barren. And
your line is barren. He's one of the 5 guys I have aligned at 9 that you should take.
So I was listening to you guys before you brought me in with that amazingly cool intro, and thank you for that. I was in the green room eating the lobster and the shrimp that you shipped over here. I wish. And I heard, I think it was Phil, but it might have been Shane. One of you said how barren our defensive line is.
Yeah,
that was me, but
we
both agree in chorus.
Yeah, so all these people, I've got friends of mine, dude, can we win 10 or 11 games this year? I'm like, no. Ryan Poles is building this thing the right way. He was not going to go out and sign a 33-year-old defensive tackle, a 3 technique, and go, well, I was able to eke out 8 wins. No. He wants Lucas Van Ness types and Nolan Smith types, and we're going to get this guy in the second round. He wants to build this thing, have 2 number 1 picks next year, have 2 2s the following year, another free agent class, and then go, okay, now it's time to take a step. That's what I think he's doing.
Well, I think you could do both, Cap, but I think that's the right way to do it. It's not cliche that it all starts up front. So for if they went defensive back, and we said this back in December in January when the season was ending, you don't go receiver. And then you don't definitely go receiver after you've traded for DJ Moore. Like the JSN talk, he's not even the best receiver, in my opinion, in this draft. And to reach for that would make me rip my TV off and say, this guy's another fucking Pace, another Phil Emery fraud. That's how
I don't think he's doing that. I
agree. I don't think.
I think the guy. Here's the perfect scenario.
Go ahead.
Justin plays well enough that you go, he's our guy.
Right.
Okay. And next year you got 2 1s. You got your 2, which I think is going to be a fairly high 2. There's no reason you're not coming out of next year's draft with a guy named Marvin fucking Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Now
exactly.
you got a wide receiver room of Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore and Chase Claypool. I'll tell you the other thing. Would you be shocked? I'm not predicting it. I'm asking the question.
I think I know where you're going.
Thursday, if you heard Roger Goodell go, we have a trade to announce. Chicago has traded wide receiver Darnell Mooney for whatever the pick is, a 3rd rounder, a 4th, whatever it is. I hear this dude's asking for $15 million. No way I'm paying Darnell Mooney $15 million.
I would be shocked if they traded him because of the culture commentary that all of the coaches, and when I was around the team, nobody could say enough positive things about Darnell Mooney.
I think they love him as a guy.
But I don't think you would give him away with that. And this is me answering your question. I think it would be dumb. He has a level of confidence, Justin does, with Darnell.
So how much you paying him?
I'm not paying him yet. I'm saying you show me how much.
He's a free agent after this year.
Yes, and he's going to show me how much I'm going to pay him. So I'm not of the everybody's tradable. I believe Darnell Mooney is a dog. Like he blocks better than your tight end. And that's not me just throwing something out there. This kid plays to the whistle, makes effort catches, and is an important piece of what you want to do. Now, $15 million, if he goes out there and catches 84 balls for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns or 12 touchdowns, and yeah, you've earned that. You've showed me, but he hasn't yet. So he's 11 million, say, right now, right? But this kid is worth something, Cap. And you have immense cap space. Don't we still have a cap to hit, Shane, as far as spending?
Yeah, but you have
cash
where that got misconstrued. Yeah, there's a obviously cap, but there's a cash floor that they have to meet. But they have until the new league year of 2024 to meet that.
To hit
correct.
Cash?
So they could extend Justin. So there's a bunch of ways they could do this. I also wonder who's playing center for this team.
Hopefully we get somebody in the draft.
Please tell me it's not Cody White here, because they've tried that with 2 different coaching staffs and it's failed both times.
Yeah.
Well, you got Lucas Patrick that they said is a prick, right? They loved him. We all know how I feel about Sam Mustipher. Olin, me and you.
They've done a lot of work on.
He's not coming back. He's already told a friend of mine he's out of here. He wants a fresh start. I'll tell you the guy they love. They had 2 coaches at Wisconsin to watch. Joe, is it Tippmann?
Tippmann, yep.
Tippmann, yep. Big
so they
dude.
like him.
6'6". That's
they
a
like
big
this
center.
Kid, Juice Scruggs at Penn State, and the kid John Michael Schmitz, I think it is, at Minnesota.
That kid. He's my number 1 center in the draft.
He's from the Chicago area. He's a Chicago kid.
There is a ton of talk here in New York, Cap, that he's going to be a New York Giant in round 1.
John kid from Minnesota?
I can see it.
Ton of talk here.
The Bears need
first-round
and Olin Cruz.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
Because right
100%.
now, I think that Whitehair
this is a great center
in
draft.
place right now. I don't think he'll be in place in September. I think that they're just going to keep him, see how the draft falls. And, I still look back. I'm not saying that they're going to rely on the kid. They drafted Doug Kramer last year. He was the first one up in training camp last year.
They got my boy Dieter Eisland as well from Yale, who every time he got out there, he showed the power as he was learning the position of center. Really loves it. I have a very good, close friendship with him. He is locked in to try to start at center. And listen, this kid played rugby, Cap, and people laughed. He learned football in the States as a junior in high school and then got himself a full ride to Yale. So now he played 4 years at Yale. He's been 3 years with the Bears at guard and center. Let's see what I love those stories. I know you do too.
I do. So I got two things for you. One, Shane, how about this? The next time I come east to do a basketball game,
yep,
our guy Phil says he's taking.
Oh, I didn't.
In Yale, right? New Haven?
Yes. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, you blacked out.
Someone called
my
you.
son was calling.
Oh, okay.
I declined
That's
the
what it
call,
was.
so I'm going to hit focus, do not disturb. And now I'm back.
There he is.
So
I'm taking you, yes, to
yeah,
New
so I want
Haven.
to try this New Haven style pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That's one. You telling the story about Dieter Eisland reminds me of the story Dan Hampton's told tonight. So Hamp in the 6th grade, 6th or 7th grade, he's in a tree. He falls 30 feet out of the tree. He breaks both his tibia, both his fibula, and his humerus in his arm. Yeah. He's in the hospital. He's a 6th or 7th grader. He's in the hospital. The doctor tells his mom and dad that he'll struggle to walk again. Yes. Dan Hampton.
Oh my
So he's in a wheelchair for 5 months. He said, we don't have Game Boys. We don't have Nintendo. We don't have Netflix. He goes, we got like 3 channels. That's it in Arkansas. So he's watching some country guy he mentioned. I can't remember. And he's like, that guy's playing the guitar. My mom plays the guitar. Teach me the guitar. So he learns to play the guitar. He learns to play the saxophone. And he's basically bedridden. He said, I'm going to class, then they're pushing me in a wheelchair. He said, the doctor tells my mom, yeah, he's going to really struggle to walk the rest of his life. True story. Dan Hampton.
Wow.
He said, I go off to high school. I'm actually moving pretty good. He said, I'm in the band. He's playing the saxophone. He grows. He's 6'5", 250 pounds. And he said, the football games are going on freshman and sophomore year, and he's out there marching with his freaking saxophone. And he said, they're getting destroyed. And the coach is walking off the field at halftime. He goes, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Daniel Hampton. He's like, yeah, well, your days with the fucking saxophone are over. You're the biggest kid in school. You're playing football. And he said, I went out as a junior. I'm playing. I never played. I'm trying to just hang in there. As a senior, he had a motor now. Like Jalen Carter's got no motor. This dude has a motor. He said, senior year, I'm pretty good at this, and I'm big, and I'm working hard. And Jimmy Johnson is the defensive line coach at Arkansas.
Yep.
He said, I get offered to be he's an offensive lineman in high school. He goes, I get offered to go to Arkansas, maybe walk on. Will I get a scholarship? He goes, they give me a scholarship because I'm bigger and I'm from the state of Arkansas. He said, I'm at the first practice and Jimmy Johnson's like, yeah, your days on the offensive line are over. You're coming over with me. He goes, I played 4 years for that guy. He became the head coach. He played for Coach Holtz down there as well. And he said, I'm the 4th fucking pick in the NFL draft. And the first or second week of training camp, Buddy Ryan says he won't call him by name. 99.
Yeah.
4th overall pick. Yeah, you better pack your shit. You're probably going home. I don't think you're going to make the team. Call your mama and tell her it's this NFL thing's not going to work out. You can't play. And he said, he signed for 60, 70, 80, and 90, a 4-year deal. That's all. That's all the money there was. And he said, I would have signed for nothing. If they play football, I'm in.
Yeah.
And he said, Cap, I literally cut down day of sweating. I think I'm getting fucking released. He's the 4th overall pick, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. Unbelievable.
Hall of Famer.
It really is.
He always. I wonder if he bought New Haven pizza for the head football coach at high school, who told him to take his saxophone and shit in it and get out here and play football.
He told us his junior year when they finally got him on the football team. He's like, the team's going in the locker room, and I'm out there in his football uniform with the marching band playing the sax because no one else knew how to play it.
We got to get Hampton on the show here. We've never had him on.
I'll get that done for you.
Can you do that?
Best. Yes.
That would be great. He would work perfectly in this environment too, and the fans would love it.
He's so fucking hilarious.
He is. Listen, I still remember a friend of mine, because Shane's upstate New York and I'm in Connecticut, sent me a VHS copy of the Walter Payton Memorial at Soldier Field.
And Hamp spoke.
And Hamp spoke. And I was, I believe, a senior in high school. I can't remember.
It's 1999.
Yeah.
So 99, I was in college. Sorry, I was out of school. That was 99. So I literally broke down in tears seeing Hampton's true passion capturing my idol. The only reason why I'm a Bears fan is because Walter Payton. And then all of
what
these
Hamp
other
said, Phil, when he said, when I tell my daughter about
yes.
Oh my God, I was bawling.
He got choked up saying it, and I watch it to this day. Actually, we were doing some stuff for our patrons, and we had like a little trivia night, and one of the questions that I asked was, who blocked the field goal the Bears' first game after Walter died? Do you remember who it was, Cap?
Was it Brian Robinson?
Yep, it was.
Yes,
Brian
Cap,
Robinson,
you would win that trivia. God,
yep.
You win
So how about this?
more shrimp.
I've got a house in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, right on Lake Winnebago. Go up there all the time, and in the summer, I'm always up there. So it's a neighborhood, and you walk down the end of my street, make a left, and go a block and a half, and on the right, it's a neighborhood. There's no industry whatsoever on the blocks, except there's this one house. It's a bar. It's called Jerry's Bar, and it's been there since 1911. So, like, I'm used to paying for a drink in downtown Chicago. Yeah, I'll take 2 beers. That'll be $8,000. So I go into the bar there last summer. It's the first time I've ever been in the bar because with COVID and all that was going on, it wasn't open. It's open. I walk in there. I'm meeting my wife, my son and daughter-in-law, and my other son and I walk in. They're all 3 sheets to the wind, and there's probably 10 people in the bar. I've never been in. And I said, all right, give everyone in the bar whatever they want. My son wants a Corona. I'll take Tito's and club soda with a lime and, whatever they're all drinking. We get done after like 2 hours. I go, all right, what do I owe you? And she's like, $34 for everything. And I had on a Bears shirt. Ryan Pace had given me a like a really cool long sleeve Bears t-shirt. Bears with it's really cool. I walk into the bar, all that Packer shit's all over the place. And I walk in, I got the Bears shirt, and some guy turns out, he's like, another fucking Bears fan is here. I'm like, you're goddamn right. And you're going to lose Rodgers. We got Fields, and your ass is dead. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So much fun. I love tweaking people.
Oh, man. You are a treasure, man. And when you come on this show, obviously the chat is even saying that the storytelling is legendary. I love it.
It's fun.
I love it. That's what it's about.
You're in the storytelling mood. We got to get that Blackjack.
The Justin Fields.
Oh, I'll give you that one. I'll tell you one other quick one. Going into rewind your brains. 06 Super Bowl.
Yep.
Leave your fandom to the side. What were you realistically thinking was going to happen in that Super Bowl?
I didn't feel great about it.
Were gonna
as a
win.
Peyton Manning.
I thought they were going to win.
You thought the Bears were going to win? So
yes, I did not.
Tommy Waddle is my radio partner at WGN at the time. Somebody from our management team comes in and sees us, goes, hey, Starbucks wants to do a promotion outside Merchandise Mart. It's, fucking late December, early January. It's cold as shit out. They're going to set up like goalposts, and there's going to be like a imaginary bear with his hands out in a net, and people are going to try from like 20 yards, not real far, to throw a snowball into the net. If they do, they win a Starbucks gift card. Would you and Tommy be willing to go out there for an hour? They'll pay you whatever they were going to pay you. Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's the easiest $500 I'll ever make. Done. They said, oh, there's going to be another celebrity with you. Rex Grossman. Yes. This is the week leading into the NFC title game.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. It's the Monday
Grossman
before. So they've got the day off. Rex is going to be out there just signing autographs. They're probably paying that guy $25,000 to do it. And there's a line of 200 people out there that want a picture with Rex or with Tommy. So the guy, whoever the moderator was, the guy's up there and he said, all right, before we let everyone start trying to win their gift cards, we're going to ask Waddle, Cap, and Rex to each take 3 snowballs and see if they can throw it into the netting of the guy, like the Bear player's hands. Waddle gets up, bam, right in. I get up and I hit the first 2 like on the rim of the netting, and it explodes. The third one I get in. Okay, cool. Nice. Rex gets up, no shit. Airmails the thing 3 times into the Chicago River. Waddle turns to me, goes, we're fucked.
Yeah.
True story. True story. So the Blackjack story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a good friend of mine is Pat McGann. He's a huge White Sox fan in Chicago, and he is a stand-up comic. He's a funny, funny man. Pat is on my TV show right before I left NBC in December. He said, hey, do you like Sebastian Maniscalco? And I said, oh, that guy's the funniest bastard going. He said, I'm opening for him in Vegas March 3rd and 4th. Why don't you and your wife come out? I'll leave you tickets. I'm like, can you get me 4? My brother loves Sebastian. And my brother's an eye surgeon. Sebastian's dad is his patient. He said, done. I'll leave you 4 tickets. We book our flights that night. We fly out to Vegas on the 2nd. My wife and I go to dinner. My brother comes in the next day. So Friday night, we're going to go to Carbone, this Italian restaurant. It's overrated. Don't go if you're in Vegas. So we go down to the blackjack table because my brother's doing whatever he's doing. My wife and I sit down at 6 o'clock Friday night. We sit down at the blackjack table. It's just the 2 of us. And this guy walks up. We're in the middle of playing. And he goes, hey, can you mind if I join you guys? No, not sit down. Do I have to wait till you're done with this shoot? I ain't that guy. I'm not playing for that much. Have at it. He sits down. Where are you from? I said, Chicago. Oh. I said, where are you from? He said, well, I live all over the place. I'm a football coach. I'm getting some R&R here. So my wife's like, are you a high school coach? He's like, no. I'm like, college coach? He's like, no, I'm an NFL coach. I'm like, you coach in the NFL? He's like, yeah, I'm an assistant. Oh, what team? He goes, I'm between teams right now. What side of the ball do you coach? Offense. I said, what do you think of Justin Fields? He literally can't play. I'm like, what? What do you mean he can't play? He said, can't process in the pocket, young man. I'm like, he's got a horrible offensive line. He's got a shitty wide receiver room. How can you put that on him? He said, don't you pull that on me. You can't have it both ways. I go, what does that mean? He said, go put the tape on. And I swear to you, he said, the tape won't lie to you is how he put it. He goes, the tape won't lie to you. Look how many times he has open receivers and he doesn't pull the trigger. He said, or how many times he tucks and runs with it too quickly. Or he walks into sacks because he holds it too long. He goes, you got open guys, you're not hitting them. I'm like, well, can't they fix that? He said he's got 12 months. If he is not markedly better, they're drafting another quarterback and they're getting his ass out of there. I'm like, seriously? He's like, just go watch the tape. I promise you I'm right. I was devastated.
Yeah, I mean, I think
in between. No,
right. That's what I was just gonna say.
What were you saying?
Justin's processing definitely got better throughout the season. I mean, even the amount of time that he held it in the pocket. Courtney Cronin actually did an awesome breakdown on the literal time of that he was holding onto the ball in the pocket.
She's incredibly good.
Yeah. Yep. So
I love her.
Yeah, he's got some issues, but I mean, I know Mike Lombardi is out there totally raking him. He's comparing him to Davis Mills yesterday, which was an embarrassment.
I saw that. Did you see the Warren Sharp tweet?
I did not.
Okay,
no.
If you could pull it up, there's a chart expected. You'll have to look. It's a bunch of analytics, and you have to have started a minimum of 20 games in your first 2 seasons to qualify, and it goes back to the year 2000. So there's 49 quarterbacks that qualify. Number 1 on the list is Justin Herbert. Number 2 is Matt Ryan. There's Lamar Jackson in the top 5. Jay Cutler, when he was with the Denver Broncos, I think is 5th. 24th is Mitchell Trubisky.
Wow.
There's 49 that qualified. Justin Fields is number 40-fucking-9. I was like,
wow.
That's a little sobering.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what I said. Listen, I had a higher grade on Bryce Young than I did Justin Fields, and that gets fans so worried. But I understood their dilemma is that you've committed 2 years, and I agree with you. I would say Justin sucks if he sucks. He doesn't. He's surrounded by chaos. And it's so hard to analyze that because you're growing. It's like you're not giving your son the Lamborghini to learn to drive. You understand what I'm saying? So the Bears have put him in a position of sheer Superman. You have to overcome everything. And he took that role and he took his pride and he played with it. So you understand that you got an Olin Kreutz. It just so happens to be at quarterback. Now you got to build this line and better your scheme, better your play calling. We also have a rookie OC, Cap. No one talks about that. They were giving this guy a head coaching job. Me and you talked.
Bingo.
We've had some concerns about Getsy's play calling situationally. Same with Shane. So there's several layers to this, and I think Ryan Poles did the right thing. As much as I believe Bryce Young is going to be a star. I really do. You can put me on the record for it. Shane could tell you.
His size doesn't concern you, Phil?
Doesn't concern me at all. I've said it to
His
Shane.
height,
I'm with Nick Saban. I'm like, he did it in the SEC. It's like the minor league of the NFL. So he's going to be fine.
His height doesn't bother me. Frame bothers me.
That's what bothers me.
Frame bothers
not the
him.
Height, it's the frame.
Yep.
Jake Plummer had frame. Joe Montana had frame. Tom Brady had frame. We can build frame.
They didn't have Bryce Young frame. Philly played at 180.
Literally looks like
look at Tom Brady.
No, dude. He's 180 pounds, Phil. It's a big difference.
What was Tom Brady coming out? He was 6'4", like 200. He looked like he was a dad playing on the beach when he came out.
You put Kyler
on pick 199 is different than pick 1.
Number one
I'm
overall.
just saying he's an outlier to the frame.
Put Kyler Murray next to Bryce Young, and physically they're similar in size. Kyler's thicker.
Way bigger.
Yes.
But see what this is right here? Bryce Young has done it in high school. He did it in college. He's done it over and over, and he'll continue to do it. I believe in that.
He's going to be facing the Georgia defense every single week in the NFL. That's
and at Alabama, Phil, he's got 5 5-star offensive linemen, 3 5-star wide receivers, a 5-star tight end, and 4 5-star running backs.
And the best head coach in America.
Best head coach ever.
Yeah, ever.
Ever.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Listen, It doesn't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter. It's what he does in anticipation and processing and throwing the
100% agree with
football
you
with
there.
accuracy. He's an
I don't
athlete
disagree.
as well.
I'm concerned about his frame.
His one last thing. People were upset with me with my Russell Wilson take way back then. And Matt Waldman is another guy that believed in him, and my father can attest to this because it was back then. I said he's going to be a star. I don't know what these fucking people are watching. He's going to be a star, and he has been a star. There's always the tape never lies to me, and Bryce is going to be the, but that's neither here or there. Mr. Fields, I agree there are some processing issues, but I think they stem from many different things other than Justin, and hopefully they get it right. And that's why we are here. Like,
well, the thing about it too
fans
that I think
get
is
so
very
emotional too. Sorry,
everybody's
one
talking
second.
about the Bears offensive line, and I get it. I understand it. The Bears need offensive line. I think one of
Are
the
you reading
biggest,
my mind now?
I think that one of the biggest factors on this offensive line, Cap, you brought up the position. You get at least competency from him at center. It's going to make a massive difference throughout the line. It's going to make a massive difference with the quarterback. They were so far from competent at center last year. I know Olin completely disagrees, but it was so glaring. I mean, Phil broke it down for everybody to show them. This kid Mustipher was getting thrown around left and right into the.
He's a great kid. He works hard.
Yep.
He's tough. He's hard-nosed. I saw him defend Justin when he got hit late. Just not a talented enough player.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, there's millions of not talented enough or almost talented enough. It is what it is. He'll probably end up being a great offensive line coach someday.
Shane's 100% right. And I want to say this and bring it back to the draft, Cap, where you're at the top pick at 9, and the big needs are what they are. You're barren at the defensive line, and you need offensive tackles. I believe there's 4 day one starting offensive tackles: Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright, DeJuan Jones, and Paris Johnson. Those 4, I don't give a fuck if they pick Darnell Wright at 9. They've decided that he fits their scheme. That's DeJuan Jones is 6'8", 274. Steve Edwards, former offensive 370. That's what I said, right?
They're saying that he was
274.
Yeah, they're saying that he was 4 bills.
374.
He wouldn't even weigh in at the pro day. Rick Spielman said he was over 400.
So if Roger Goodell walks to the podium next Thursday night, let's say it's, 8:15, with the 9th pick, the Chicago Bears select Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, Northwestern. I think Phil's going to have a stroke.
I would be. Phil and I talked on the phone today. It's the same thing with Jalen Carter. All the red flags in the world. If they pick him, they pick him. There's nothing you can do about it, and you're gonna root for the kid. Skoronski, you just hope. I happen to believe he's gonna be a guard, but obviously, if you pick him that high, you have to let him play tackle first and fail, then push him inside. We'll see how it is, but yeah, I won't. Cap, I think Broderick Jones
very well.
Yeah, I think Broderick Jones, if they were definitely taking an offensive lineman, Broderick Jones has Ryan Pace, Ian Cunningham written all over.
Ryan Pauls.
Make
Ryan
sure
Pauls.
you say it right. Don't fuck this up.
Let me ask you a question. If Roger Goodell goes to the podium and he goes, with the 9th overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. I will be furious.
I won't be furious.
He's a great player. If you told me I traded back up to pick 27 and I got him, great. 9? No shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't be pissed because he's my number 3 ranked player in this whole draft. That's how talented I believe he is. But I would be upset. Will Anderson by far.
Better
I
than
laughed
Tyree
at,
Wilson.
oh my God, it's not even fucking close on
I
tape.
keep hearing the Lions and the Texans like Tyree Wilson better than Will Anderson.
I'm old enough to remember the Jaguars
there's a lot of
selected
talk saying he's
Walker
going number
over
2.
Hutchinson.
What's that, Shane?
There's a lot of talk saying that he's going to go number 2, Tyree Wilson.
Tyree Wilson.
Yep.
I will place everything. Shane, can you pull up those pressure numbers? They're just every fucking team in the SEC knew they have to block 31, and one tackle was able to handle that by himself.
Darnell Wright.
That's Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
And that's why when you watch the tape and you say, Phil, why do you have Broderick Jones number 1 and Darnell Wright number 2? Because I'm watching fucking tape. Peter Skoronski would have gotten fucking tossed off the fucking sideline and Will Anderson to the fucking quarterback every down. That's the difference. You want a dog out there. Darnell Wright, DeJuan Jones, Broderick Jones, and Paris have that dog in them. We need a left tackle. We haven't had one since Jimbo Covert. Mr. Will Anderson dominates, and he's so fluid. They're looking at I look at pressure numbers. Shane, you got the numbers?
I don't have them all for the other players, but real quick, Phil, this just kind of puts it in perspective. Will Anderson leads all edge defenders with 141 pressures over the past 3 seasons. But here's the joke. He's only played the last 2 seasons. And he's still out of the last 3, he leads with 141, but he's only played 2 seasons.
So everybody's had 3
pressures.
seasons to try to beat him. So watching tape, Dave, you can trust me. Like when people were saying Jalen Carter's the best player in the, I go, that told me you don't watch tape. That tells me you watch highlights. Let's watch what Will Anderson does to opponents double teaming him. He is the closest thing I've seen to Khalil Mack. My dad compared him to LT. My dad was like, you just take Will Anderson and you got another, as you put it, Olin Kreutz out there, Richard Dent, that's going to fucking dominate. But they did what they did. Will Anderson, 100%. I would stake my career on it.
28 collegiate games. How many tackles for a loss do you think he had in 28 games? His first 28 games.
Are we talking Will Anderson?
Yeah. How many? Give me
28 games, tackles for loss. I'm going to say 54.
Yeah, it's 41. But in his first
Damn,
28
you were
games,
fucking close.
he had 24 and a half sacks and 41 tackles for a loss in his first 28 games in the SEC.
He's a monster.
Yep.
Jalen Carter, how many tackles for losses do you think he had in 28 games?
I'll say 12.
13. So there you go.
Yeah.
But this is my point. Like, there is a showcase of talent that is just undeniable. Now, they passed up on it. To your point, Cap, and it makes it even more relevant. I don't know who Poles is in the first round. You fucking nailed the back-to-back. You called the trade up for Justin Fields with Ryan Pace. And last year, as we put it up there for evidence for all these fucking haters that hate Cap, which I can't understand. This guy is a legend and such a great human being that wears his heart on his sleeve. I just don't get it. But here he is calling the corner last year out of Washington on our show. And it totally happened again. So can we get you for 4 minutes to jump on next Thursday prior to the draft to say, or you can just film it and I'll put it on there if you don't have time.
No, I'll try and come on live. I'm going to be at Soldier Field next Thursday. They're going to have a stage set up outside Gate O, and that's my stage, and I'm going to be interviewing Bears celebs throughout the night. So, yeah, it'll be really cool. So, yeah, let's just talk, and I'll figure out a way to call in.
You're just great.
We'll do it from Soldier Field. We'll figure some way, somehow, we'll get it done.
Perfect.
Is this guy not the best, right, Corn?
Absolutely.
He is the
Nice,
fucking
right
best.
there.
He's right
All right,
on
I'm
it.
going to bed.
Yes. One other name I want you to leave with, okay? And he's one of my favorite players in this whole draft. Shane knows.
He's another short guy, Cap. Shocker. I already know where he's going.
I believe this guy will also be a star.
What
and
is
it's
Tariq Cohen in this
Kalijah
draft
Cansey.
again?
Kalijah Cansey out of
Oh,
Pitt.
the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of Pitt,
Everybody's yes, everybody. It's unfortunate because Aaron Donald was similar in size and similar position. But when you watch the tape and he's the ACC, he's just so good at 3 technique. Rod Marinelli, probably at his age, is ordering hymns because of what he sees on the tape.
Did you hear Rod Marinelli's quote on the under tackle on a 3 technique? And this is what brings me to Van Ness. He's like people talk about, size and everything. He's like, number one thing, I can't teach you motor. I can't teach you motor. You either have it or you don't. I'll teach you everything else. I can't teach motor. I can't get you to do that. You're either going to do it. It's either, you either have it or you don't. And to me, that's another thing saying no to Jalen Carter and yes to Lucas Van Ness.
Where did Rod say this? I would love to play that audio.
I can send you.
We'll send it to you, Dave.
I'll send you the link.
We
Cap.
have it.
Yeah, he was
It's on another radio network in Chicago. So can you play that?
Yep.
Yeah, fuck them. I'll play it. Absolutely.
Yeah. We got the link. Yeah.
And we will send it right over to you tonight. I know you're full on the shrimp and lobster. Yeah. And
he was on with Mully and Haw.
Oh, the show that we're about beating in the race.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a great interview. I got to give it to Haw. We've never had Haw on.
David's the best.
I've totally disliked him.
David is the greatest.
I've totally want to confront him on some things, maybe one day. But I'm definitely going to hold you accountable for Dan Hampton. Got to make that happen. But you are the man.
Haw, because Haw's a really wonderful person. I don't know Mully, but Haw's awesome. He was my partner. I love the guy.
Yep.
I love. You, I love.
Mutual, guys.
Thank you so much for your time tonight.
By the way, I'll give you one last little nugget that Lance Briggs told tonight. I said, what was it like playing for Mark Trestman? He said, dude, it went downhill from the first fucking day. He said, first team meeting, he's been named. Everyone's in the big auditorium at Hallis. He said, this dude's talking to us from behind us. He can't stand in front of us and address us. Wow. And from behind us, he said, okay, he said, there's like 75 of us in here for minicamp or OTAs. Yeah. He said, gentlemen, we're all equal here. We're all starting at the same level. I treat you all the same because you're all Chicago Bears, not one better than the other. And Lance said, he got up in the meeting and said, Coach, that's bullshit. And he said, Lance, I'll talk to you privately. The meeting ends. He said, I walk in this dude's office. I go, we're all equal? I got 11 years in the league. No, we're not all equal. There's 30 of those dudes in there will be working, delivering pizzas in a month. And we're all equal? No. You just lost a lot of guys in the room. He said it went downhill from there.
Well, I can understand. That's the what we call the Boy Scout way of talking to a locker room, and it's not going to work.
There it is. I was wrong. It was Bernstein and Spiegel.
Matt Spiegel and Bernstein. Yep. Give them the appropriate. They did a great job there, but we'll work on Haw, Hampton, but we'll see you next week. Please go over, subscribe to David, the Cat Man on YouTube. Take that. It's totally worth it.
The recap. R-E-K-A-P.
Recap. R-E-K-A-P. He's the best. Thank you, Dave, for your time, man.
All right,
get some
you guys.
sleep. Tell Hoodie.
And then tell your sons, Phil, I said Uncle Cap says, what's up?
Yes. Whenever you're coming, we're going to New Haven. That's all I got to say.
Pizza.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to have to
All
drive
right.
down for that one.
100%. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you next Wednesday from Soldier Field.
Next Thursday.
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 You got it.
You're the man.
Thanks, Cap.
God bless. David Cap, the legend, the man, the myth. What a class human being.
Yeah, when everything was going down with Riley and Cap setting up everything for, when Billy Donovan called us and we did that whole thing, Cap actually shared that story with me about the Blackjack with Justin Fields and stuff like that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I get it. And listen, I know we can all get intoxicated by the talent of Justin, but there's a lot of things Justin's got to work on. And Justin knows that. And, I believe in Justin Fields, the worker. I think he's going to be a guy that you don't have to worry about putting in the extra work, the effort. I know he's been down in Georgia already with Chase Claypool, with Darnell Mooney, with DJ Moore. Cole Kmet was down there. So it's going to be a big year. And all you have to know is it was critical for Ryan Poles to get another first-round draft pick in 2024 as a safety net if they have to pivot. That's what it was about. I mean, that's just the fact. Right.
It's a 2-4. It's Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr. if the quarterback plays the way you hope he does. It's on Poles to decide, but I don't want to skip out just 1 second. Then we'll get back in. David Kaplan, I just have to say this, like a legend in Chicago, AM 1000, ESPN. Everybody should know that. But this world is a crazy world. And I wish there were more people like that, And I know I carry my heart on my sleeve, and so does Shane. So just to have that kind of connection on this show, I just hope Cap sees this and knows how much we appreciate him and what he does. There's snobs out there that will be afraid to come on the show and chop it up and debate and talk truth and tell story. But Cap has been now the most. He's appeared the most on Keeping It 100 on the Tape Never Lies.
Yep.
And he's one of the great guys. And I appreciate Greg Bragg's introducing us and building now a friendship beyond whatever I could have thought at the time. And with both me and one of my best friends, Shane Marsaw. And Cap, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Before we get into that, I want to share that Keith Henderson was a patron, was a huge fan of this show, this network. And as we get on the precipice of the draft, Keith is going to be missed. His support, his wife reached out to us to let us know he had passed. And we're going to keep his memory alive, just like we always say. There's no bullshit on this network. We are family. You fans that become loyal listeners that set the alarm to the time, that are pissed off. I can go through a list, like Funkster Jones is at work probably listening to this, and Bullets is on the West Coast eating his freaking chicken lo mein watching the show. Whatever it is, you guys get to the show and you're a part of Wednesday nights. It's almost like, what was it, TGIF Friday? Now we got to rename Keep It at 100 Wednesday. And Shaniqua, Keith's wife, had reached out to me and told me he was struggling with his liver and that he was in the intensive care unit. There she is right there. And I didn't, I don't know everybody. If you don't use your name, I can't really, but I knew that right underneath me. Thank you, Caden, for putting that up there. Shy Native 72 was always in our corner, Shane. Always in our corner, like promoting that. I'm here, guys. Class is in session when Coach O came on. And it just was a bond that just made you stronger on the show. And we are family. And Shaniqua, I see that you're watching. And we are happy that you're a part of this family now. It's unfortunate that your husband has passed on, but it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village and a family to keep a memory alive. Totally. I wanted to play that, and great job producing that. Jeff Crooms, who's also a super fan of the show, and Jeff put that together for us in Keith's honor, and God bless him. And hopefully the Chicago Bears do us all proud in Keith's honor. And we'll have something special next week that we'll unveil during the draft coverage, which will be all next week. So my condolences to the Henderson family and everybody. Go ahead, Shane.
No, I was just going to say, you're talking about the coverage. It starts on Sunday.
TTNL
Network will be live on Sunday, live Monday,
Saturday and
Tuesday,
Sunday, actually.
Wednesday.
We got Matt Waldman on Saturday.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to be live during the day. We're going to be live a half an hour before the draft starts. Friday, we're going to be live during the day again, and then live again Friday night a half an hour before the draft starts. And then Saturday, it'll be a half an hour before the draft starts at noon East. And then Sunday, it's going to be a draft mob for TTNL Network patrons, and we will be breaking down whoever the Bears' first-round draft pick is.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, patrons know. Patrons never lie, like the tape. Those of you that understand, we put a lot of time and effort. We don't wait till 2 weeks before to pronounce anybody. We wear our heart on our sleeve, and our guys, we fight for our guys. You've seen me and Shane have debates. We'll probably have debates on draft night. I hope Cap, knowing what would tear my heart apart, doesn't happen. I don't want to throw any shade at the Skoronski family. This isn't about that, but it's about the passion of what it is it's took.
What we see right now. I'm not saying that the kid can't improve, but
yeah, it's what we see on tape now, and we'll continue to do that. This draft is exciting on so many levels because it's going to tell a story. It's going to tell a story of truth. Like, there's so many narratives out there. If Jalen Carter's there at 9, the Bears will take him. Well, with Cap, we gave you 8 reasons why they shouldn't. So listening to these people pontificate on this, oh, by the way, Drew Rosenhaus is his agent, you have a problem with that. You have a serious
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Holy!
Who the hell is that guy?
I'm sorry. Is this the DMV? I don't understand. Where am I? What am I doing here?
He's back.
What's going on, everybody?
How are you?
I mean, all things considered, we're keeping on. So I can't complain too much.
Yeah, that's right. See, this
get in somebody's ass today.
Had to get one of those in there.
You got it. Absolutely.
Imagine how Ryan Cox feels right now. It's just us 3 on here. Poor Ryan Cox, not talking to anybody right now.
Who's Ryan Cox? I don't understand.
Exactly. He's a guy that just wants to fire me up all the time.
I can't relate to that at all. No.
In your text stream, find these things and cars. I just envision this, and you can tell me if I'm right. Send that to Phil. I hear
100%. Yeah. We have a daily conversation to see who could find one that will set you off the most. That's what we do.
We should screenshot of when Demo signed in Detroit. There was some fucking comedy fucking gold in there.
Oh no.
Not that we didn't love Demo, but we're like, this is going to create some amazing content. for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
why
guys
we're
know
all
how to push
secretly
the button.
hoping. It's why we're secretly hoping the Bears draft Bijan Robinson just to see that live on air. It's the only reason. I don't
I would
really.
be okay. Honestly,
Okay.
I even told
All right.
Cap, I'm okay. Like, he is a top 5 player on my board. Caden threw some shade at you. He hasn't gotten your number 1s yet, so he wants to build the graphics for you. But
Slightly busy.
I said I was in your corner like Apollo with Rocky. I was like, he's
Caden.
busy.
You know, all he does is just throw these bombs and just. I mean, you guys just saw it today. He's so aggressive and angry all the time. I can't keep up with it. It's
next week this is fuck cars.
Yeah.
Listen, cars. We just talked about losing one of our patrons, our fans from the beginning of Jump. This is a family. I would be remiss if we didn't say live on the air. We're so sorry for your loss of your mom. And, I can't even imagine it and what you've been dealing with. And I'm so happy to see you here tonight with us. Not to bring up a negative, but it's in my mind. And I want you to know how much I love you, bro. And
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you jumping on tonight. I did not. Did you know, Shane, he was coming on?
Fuck yeah, I knew.
Oh,
set this up early.
You did. Yeah. At least you're honest about it. I was so in shock that you were there. I was so excited. So thank you for jumping.
Yeah, when I was looking down when you were talking to me, Cars is like, my link doesn't work. So he had to re-sign in and get the code and do that whole thing. So
it's
that's
been
why
so long.
Yeah.
My computer's like, who the hell is this dude? I have no idea who you are. What are you even trying to do? What's the
Whitlow
internet?
was like, he was at the bingo hall with Brad.
Yeah. Fucking Whitlow, man. I just,
he's a savage. He gives zero fuck.
He looks so innocent, but God, I am terrified of that kid. He is just he's terrifying. Absolutely.
Yep. Oh yeah.
He opened the show tonight, Cars. Did you see the open?
I did not. I mean, did he time his yo properly?
Way better than Claudio did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a low bar. That's a low bar.
He was secretariat out of the fucking gates, bro.
I love it. I love it.
It was almost 3-dimensional the way he jumped into the screen. It's great.
I mean, that's all you want. You just want someone with a little passion and energy, since the two of you are so laid back all the time. You just need someone to bring a little extra oomph every now and then. So
I think if we want to get the proper reaction out of Phil, it's if the Bears go corner at number 9.
Oh my god.
Or
corner
JSN.
JSN and Jalen Carter would piss me the fuck off.
Oh, I can't.
I
can't.
I would be so disappointed. And then
would
JSN would be a devastation. That's like Leonard Floyd when Laramie Tunsil was there, and I'm strutting cars.
I wouldn't like it at all, but I mean, I can.
Left tackle.
I think he would serve a functional purpose in this offense. Jalen Carter, even more than disappointment, I would be scared to death because there's just so many factors beyond football that are working against him that you'd just be like, oh.
Clowney is the best example of that, right? Like so many of these red flags that Carter has, Clowney had. And yeah, he put together a season here or there, but we all expected that guy to be like a 14, 15, 16 sack perennial type of player like you see out of the Bosas. And that motor just didn't get turned on consistently enough. He's the one player. If you could tell me that you could draft him at 15 to 20, I can understand it more. But you tell him top 10, I just feel like those guys with motor issues that go in the top 10, they kind of get cemented as having motor issues because they're like, why? I didn't have to turn it on and I still went 3rd overall, 4th overall, 5th overall. Why would I do it now that I got paid and picked? Like what I do works. It's just a weird, I worry the most about him. Like all these
me
rumors
too.
have me terrified that he's there.
I'm with you.
Let me put you on the spot
I'm
here.
a nervous wreck. I'm a nervous fucking wreck.
Let me put you
Go
on
ahead.
the spot here, Phil. You're at number 9, and you have 2 players you got to pick from. Or actually, no. Let's expand it. I'm going to give
Cap
you
and cars on the same night, man. I'm sorry to cut you off.
it's
I'm
fine.
excited, man. We're back. I feel so much. I feel great. Go ahead.
So
Sorry. You're expanding it. You always put me in these corners.
You have 3 players that you have to pick from. You can't deviate from these 3 at number 9 because this is pressure packed.
Ooh.
So Jalen Carter.
I always share with him all my thoughts, so he puts me.
No. But you haven't shared me. You haven't shared this.
Okay.
So you're picking from Jalen Carter, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Christian Gonzalez.
Oh my God.
Christian Gonzalez for me, hands
Christian Gonzalez for me. Yeah,
okay, so then we move into the next round.
Okay.
Number 9, you have 2 guys to pick from. Jalen Carter or JSN.
JSN.
Oh my God. I'd have to take JSN at that point with him. I don't believe that a zebra changes his stripes.
There's one in every group. Take
love
the option
George.
that's not even an option.
George, what's up, man? No, George.
Peyton Manning. That's who I would
George
choose
is
as
reading
that
my
pick.
mind.
Yeah.
I would let the Vikings come before. I'd let the pick time out.
I think we're going to be worried, but I do not think Jalen Carter will be available at number 9. I don't.
I continue to believe that we won't even pick at 9. That's still to this moment is my belief because the outside of Will Anderson, and you could talk me in a little bit to Tyree, and I can understand, Bryce Young. Once you get past those 3 guys, the guy I draft at 4 is going to be very not so different from the guy I drafted 24. So hope somebody falls in love, move back, and make that move. I just don't. I hope that I'm correct that we're just not picking at 9 at all.
Yeah, I think it's 100% in play. Cap talked about it. He thinks that that's their top option. And listen, let's not forget the poker aspect of this.
Oh yeah,
we've all heard people say that he's not going to get by Chicago. Well, that could mean that he's definitely not going to get by Philly. And
I think that's you're exactly right because
so they're using Philly.
Yeah.
To say if you want Carter when he falls, you better get ahead of the Eagles.
And if you're Philly, that's a swing at the at bat that you take. You're not going to be picking in the top 10 for a long time. So absolutely swing that bat.
Go back to what Shane and you had said, and I think way early in the draft process, Philly kind of fits because he's going to have veteran.
Yes.
A person like Cox there that can help him understand the role and speak to him in a manner with which, motherfucker, I've been doing just like Briggs did with Pressman.
He's got Jordan Davis there. He's got Nakobe Dean, 2 former teammates that he played with at Georgia. Fletcher Cox is going to say, shape up or ship the fuck out. He's going to tell him that on day 1. They have the veteran influence.
You guys did a great thing. Maybe you're saying this, but I could see a threat of Pittsburgh trading up, and Philly wants this kid. So now you only trade down 1 spot, get another pick.
Don't forget, Ian Cunningham knows how Philadelphia feels about Jalen Carter.
So you guys could be really. I know Sports Mockery is going to start writing a story about this tomorrow.
Yeah, Lambert, spell my fucking name right when you poach this tomorrow. You bald fuck.
Not give us credit. But the reality is you're onto something here. You're onto something here. That could be the GM throwing that shit out. He ain't getting by us.
It's the red neon sign telling Philly that we know where you're going to go. everybody knows. Listen, Philadelphia is an offensive line, defensive line driven team. They will deviate from it. You've seen them do it with Devonta Smith, stuff like that. But I'm pretty well sold on this is them putting out the for sale sign. If you want this kid, if he's there, you're going to be dealing with us to get ahead of Philly.
And I to go back to that though, part of the reason I believe that is I think we were talking earlier today, Shane, if you were to now try to get the same trade that the Bears got for number 1 pick today, as opposed to when they pulled it, you're not getting the same value, right? So, I mean, when you look at that, at what Poles is able to do, he timed that right, because probably about a week later, you kind of got the sense that Carolina had a little bit of a buyer's remorse on that first pick. So now he's doing everything again to inflate that value, to talk about players falling, because we were not active enough in free agents because the money didn't line up enough. So he wants to fill up. He needs more draft picks still. We still want to get younger. We want to build through the draft. So it takes it, it makes it a requirement, basically.
So the way that you have to look at it is, say March 10th is when they made the deal. So let's say April 19th today, we're still sitting at number 1. The draft is next week. What are we talking about right now? There's legitimate fire out there saying that Houston is not going to go quarterback at number 2. So now if you're Arizona, you're going to fucking say, you think Chicago's taking a quarterback number 1?
Oh,
they're not.
Neither
is Houston. So if you want the quarterback, you're going to be coming to us. These other two aren't taking it. And just like to Carr's point, then your value is dropping. Ryan Poles, when we talked about this, that we needed him to be a dog and needed him to be a forward thinker, he did that. He did it.
Yeah.
And everybody I've heard people on, big time podcasts in Chicago saying, this quarterback market is heating up and he screwed him. So David Haw was one of them, saying he could have got more if he waited. Bullshit. It's the exact opposite of that.
They're getting 2 first-rounders and no DJ Moore.
Where was the hype? Where was the hype with the quarterbacks? Right after the fucking combine.
Yep.
I mean, CJ Stroud was the number 1 pick right after the combine. Now it's pivoting back to Bryce Young. We'll see how that goes. And honestly, I don't really care how it goes, but I'm totally fine with what Ryan Poles did. You got another 6 weeks
guys
of
are
DJ Moore getting familiar. Justin Fields
I
also.
I want to highlight what you guys just said again, because I think you're right. And Cars, you're right. If the trade goes down today, you're not getting DJ Moore. You're getting another first. And that's really why you strike when the iron is hot. And that's really what he did. So you got to give him credit there, especially if you're deciding to move down. Now, you can go back on drafts every year. Me and Shane were looking at the 2013 draft, was it, Shane? Today.
Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel.
Eric Fisher, Jokel. These guys went 1, 2. Then all these guys busted. There's so many. And I remember being excited about that draft. Same with Shane about certain players, and they didn't pan out. Chance Warmack was my guy, the guard. And he didn't do. I thought he was going to be a superstar back then. But again, now we got coach's tape. The tape never lied. I really feel confident. I know I've moved. You talked about Darnell Wright early in the draft process. I have him as my number 2 tackle in this whole draft. I believe in that kid, and I think he'll be a superstar.
I think what Bears fans have to be able to decipher here with the NFL draft is, listen, we've all done mock drafts. We've done these draft simulators. And guys, they don't mean shit. Because just because Darnell Wright is going there's tons of draft simulators where you get Darnell Wright falling into the second round, and guess what? That's not going to fucking happen next Thursday.
He was going round 3 in January, February, and
just like Aaron Donald was.
Yeah.
In that, all the time you could do a simulator back then and get him in the second and third round, and then on draft day we're all sitting there in unison praying that he falls one more pick, and it didn't happen. But what you have to get away from is if consensus is Darnell Wright's going to be the 17th pick in the draft, you take him number 9. There's not that big of a fucking difference. Guess what?
Exactly.
He's going to be your starting right tackle at number 17. He's going to be your starting right tackle at number 9.
Yeah.
For an assassin, that would be a big deal because they don't know dick about tape and shit like that. But for us watching tape, it is the equivalent of finding a true starting player based on the board, and the board pushes players down, and that's why those numbers, get them here, go there, never. Like, I've been watching this since the 3rd grade, the draft. I've studied the draft. I don't do cap numbers and all that. I study the tape and how this draft, no one's ever predicted it right. There's so much bullshit told to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, and it gets me so agitated, and you guys always get me fired up, and they get paid to talk about these guys as if they're better, and I just feel bad for the kids like Darnell Wright that you look at their tape, and Lucas Van Ness, and you look at their tape and you're like, holy fuck, this guy is legit, and this is what you get from that player. And that's where the GM has failed us. They failed us. Let's just call it what it is. They failed us time and time again. So far, Haw is wrong.
I mean, that's
Ryan
standard.
Poles is right. Ryan Poles is right. He did get on this while the getting was good, and you get DJ Moore out of it. Now, that's why I always laugh that JSN at 9. Like, you got Claypool and DJ Moore. That's where you're going. And I want to bring it back to what we talked about on our patron show. And you talked about it, Shane, like expressing it to me and my dad, where the draft is heavy in talent in the offensive line.
Yeah.
So with the Bears
Early.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
it falls.
So
there's a definite drop off, but I still think that there's starters.
I have starters.
Yes.
I have starters in the second round.
But you're not going to find Broderick Jones. You're not going to find a Darnell Wright. You're not going to find a Paris Johnson. You're going to find
schematic
serviceable
fits.
To good. Yeah.
Serviceable to good scheme fits as a player that, to me, Darnell, Jones, and even Paris, right? They can sort of transcend scheme. They have abilities and technique that they will be very good in scheme, but they are not scheme dependent. Where if you look at me like a Bergeron, that is more of a scheme fit tackle. Doesn't mean that he won't be serviceable or good, but that would fall more in the line of like a McGlinchey type, where you want the scheme to match up, as opposed to, someone else that you think, really highly of.
Well, the thing that I want to point out here is the defensive line playmaker cupboard gets bare quicker. And so if you're up top and you have Barron at defensive line, then maybe if you're Ryan Poles, then the trade down scenario, you are going to lose out on a talented defensive lineman. Do you take a defensive lineman there at 9, whoever it is? I have my thoughts. Shane has his. I'm sure you have yours. And then if a guy's falling, you take your 2 second-round picks, as Shane said, and now you move up and identified a guy that Darnell Wright, my guy DeJuan Jones, my father's favorite tackle, and you get him later in the first round. You've also occupied the 5th-year option as well at that player, and you've got a home run of 2 players in the first round. Yes, you sacrificed.
I would be willing to move for a guy like Darnell Wright to get a second first rounder. I couldn't make that. I wouldn't make the investment in DeJuan Jones because I'm concerned about other things with him. Like when you show up to your pro day at over 400 pounds, I think that's probably a red flag for a lot of teams. Some teams, so if you told me that, let's just say they drafted Lucas Van Ness at number 9, and then they could work out a deal if Darnell Wright did drop and they came up, sign me the fuck up. Let's call it a day. We can end the draft show, and I'll be happy as hell.
Dancing in the streets.
Tell me that you get.
I
Lucas
can go
Van
up
Ness
for
Darnell Wright.
I can go up for DeJuan Jones too.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. They met with him too, so
yes, they did. This is why I keep going back. The reason I expect the Bears to trade back is because they don't want to necessarily package those second round picks to move back up. Not saying that they wouldn't, but there are so many different holes right now still. And if it's been a while, but I've always said, right, the strength in this draft is through basically the first 64, 70-ish picks.
Yeah,
and
couldn't you see maybe the 2 fourths
being used to move up into a third?
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. Those sorts of things.
Maybe we're focusing on the wrong spot. Maybe not the 2s and coming up. Maybe it's the 2 4s to come up into the, up into the
third to
round.
do a Bergeron if he's still there or someone like that. Absolutely. Because I just there's the way I just keep looking at this is when you fall back, if you can get past kind of pick 15, kind of that 15. So if we leverage that 17 pick from Pittsburgh, you're probably talking 17 and 47 for 9 at that point in time. It gives you really good picks through the middle. You're still at that point have the ability to look at one of the centers. So it does give you flexibility still to do that. Lucas Van Ness is a guy that could go 5. He's a guy that could go 25 depending on scheme fit. But if you stay in that 15 to 20 range, you're probably still getting a guy that you're really, really happy with while picking up an additional pick because you're going to need, I think either way, you're looking at if you have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds, all 4 of those picks are on the trenches, hands down. I don't really see a player anywhere else outside of, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, guard, whatever. I just don't see. I see them really wanting to load up as much as they can up front.
They have to. I mean, that would be appropriate. I agree with you. Listen, if the Pittsburgh Steelers want to trade up from 17, I'm demanding the 32nd back. I'm trying to get that. I mean, the 33rd.
Absolutely.
I'm getting that pick back. I'm moving back from 9. I want your 17 and the 33rd pick in the top of the second round. I would be okay with that based on who was on the board at the time.
Because if it's Carter, you could probably get the top of the second round pick. If it's somebody else, like if they're moving up for Paris, which is the other rumor, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Just points wise, if you're looking at the trade chart, and this isn't the be all end all, but it's giving you, somewhat of a, just a blueprint. So pick 9 is worth 1,350 points. Pick 17 is worth 950. So you're talking, that's 400 points difference.
Mm-hmm.
So 400 points is equal to the 50th overall pick. So that's exactly why you're looking at number 47. You get up to number 32. That's 590. Well,
Yeah,
they
it's
don't-
it's
33
32
because it has to be.
No,
Right.
Miami's forfeited a pick.
Yeah, so it's 32.
But it's
Yep,
still
so-
the top of the second round, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
It's still
consider
the
itself.
first pick of the
Okay.
second round, right? Yeah,
It's still the
But so
number
that's-
32. You're
so
right.
that's 590 points. So they could do it. I doubt Pittsburgh, but Chicago would have to throw in a sweetener.
It would probably have to be like a fifth or
Yeah.
a fourth in that regard.
I would give them a fifth to get that 30.
Oh, I would.
Second.
You're in a
Yeah,
position
me
of
too.
power on having the first pick of day 2 because
Yeah.
you're
Exactly.
taking calls all fucking night long. And I mean, unfortunately, Pittsburgh knows that too. Because there's going to be,
Yeah,
listen, it happens every fucking year, guys. We've done this for a long time. We're going to be sitting there and we're like, how did this dude
Yeah.
fall? How did he fall? You know what I mean?
Always.
It happens all the time.
Oh, I get anxious all the time.
And I'm
With
just
these
throwing this
guys
up
that
there, and
fall.
I'm not trying to pick on you, but that's a non-starter for the Bears. You're not basically giving up
You could
picks
pick on
to
him.
move up a little
Fine.
bit. No, I'm too nice
Jerome.
these days. Jerome. But you're trying to gain a pick, not pull a. We're going to give you Thomas Jones and a late second rounder for a better second
Exactly.
rounder. You're gonna do
Exactly.
something like that. But it's really fun to look at because I keep going back, and you've probably talked about it, that 1920 drive where they talked about the trade and how much they talked about we're not going to spend money to spend money, right? We're going to build this the long way. We're going to do this the right way. Every time you hear that, a Bears fan gets his wings, because I think it just means that they're going to focus on building through the draft over and over again. And they've really shown that to be the ideal. They want to build for the long term. There are no shortcuts. And so when I keep saying trade back, they need an extra pick. I would ideally love 5 or 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. That's kind of the number that I think that they're going to be shooting for. And so if you could do like 4 of those in rounds 1 or 2, that is just a massive, massive win for us.
I remember last year, Shane and I on the show, I think it was Zorich and Kramer was the first night where we had no picks. And then the second night we're doing the show and they traded back again.
Yeah.
All right, they're coming out. Here they are. And we got another trade.
Yep.
Like, are you shitting? So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they do that, especially when your GM has an understanding of how many holes they have to fill here.
It's insane. Like
Because you have Travis Gibson and Dominique Robinson as edge guys. They signed the dude from the Green from the Houston Texans, and
Walker is probably going to be more of a 3-tech rotation.
No, definitely. Like,
yep.
His numbers alone and his play alone on tape show. I mean, me and my dad and Shane, I believe you were on that show when we did Walker on our patron side, and you just see the guy's a better interior player. He has great hands and powerful hands inside. He's an athlete. I remember him coming out of Florida State. He's bounced around and he's become he's found his place. So he's going to be interesting.
He reminds me a little bit of a Henry Melton, where it's like a late bloomer, late to the position. And he might not be that 10 sack guy, but he can easily be a consistent 6, 8 sack kind of guy, disruptive in the middle.
Here's a great question to go along with what Cap. And Cap sometimes will slip in something he might have heard and ask us. So I'll ask you. Would you do 9 and Mooney for 17 and 32? So now you're basically Claypool for Mooney.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing there.
No, I don't think either team would.
No,
I don't think Pittsburgh or Chicago would do it. Listen, Pittsburgh
is kind of loaded with Pickens, Now
They
they've
just
got
traded for
Allen
Robinson.
Robinson and Johnson. What is it? Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think he's a thing.
The Bears are in business to add weapons, not trade young, cheap weapons.
I mean, if Pittsburgh traded us Deontay as well, right, because they wanted to get cheaper at the wide receiver position, yeah, we would probably make that trade, 9 and Mooney for Deontay, 17 and 32. Yeah, absolutely. But straight up like that, I just don't see it.
Deontay has been re-signed there, so he's carrying a bigger cap, right? And the Bears have plenty of space, so they could
exactly.
So the business side of that trade, I hear that's another great point by you. That could be something that you work out based on what it is you've committed to.
Yes.
Someone else is I saw another team having buyer's remorse with one of their receivers that they had signed. I can't remember what team it was now. Damn it. But they're putting him on the block, and they just signed him. I don't know if someone in the chat knows who I'm talking about. I just saw it come across that he was up for the trade. Good player. Anyway, I'll have to think about it. Is it Sutton? Is it Sutton? Could have been
Judy,
Sutton.
I know had been Jerry Judy, I know had been early on, but Sutton has been also, actually even KJ Hamler. For whatever reason, Denver's been really willing to listen to all three of the wideouts.
Right.
I was a big Hamler fan. So were you, Shane,
Yeah.
coming out of Penn State. He's another guy. So I know it wasn't Allen Robinson because it wouldn't fit here. I've had enough of Allen Robinson and trotting and not blocking. I don't think that guy will fit the culture. When you look at 17, trading down to 17, obviously you all know how I feel about Kalijah Cansey, Darnell Wright. Those names will be in there. Even Van Ness. These are guys that I feel like I would be okay at 9. So that's just to the point of that. That's why you could say I could trade down to 17, pick up that. But go ahead, Cars.
You've heard me hammer this all the time because of how weird this draft is talent-wise. There is really, once you get past Bryce Young, there is, and knowing that most likely at number 4, Indy is drafting a quarterback, there is 47 different million ways that this can go, right? Like you can very quickly see a quick, someone team, like let's just pick on Detroit, right? Detroit moves away from Okuda, and they look at it and they say Christian Gonzalez is the best guy on the board, and they go that way. You could all of a sudden be sitting there and Tennessee could be going, well, man, we need a corner that we drafted with the bad back has never played. Go get me Witherspoon. And then a few picks later, someone's going to be like, well, do I got to start looking at Joey Porter Jr.? And so you might see these little mini runs because this is what happens every year. Like nobody's drafting alignment. And then the first team does. And every team panics that it's going to be the position run that happens. And so there could be a way that you could be sitting there at 17 and like one tackle is off the board because somebody all of a sudden freaked out about corners and there's some weird wide receiver run. It can go so many different ways that you could be convinced the person, it'll be like last year when there's no way Kyler Gordon will be there when we pick in the second round, so ignore it. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, holy shit, right. Darnell Wright is still here. I couldn't have believed this. And that's what I love about the draft because it's so, especially in a year like this, it's hard. It's impossible to pick 100% in a normal year. Anybody who picks the first 4 picks or 5 picks this year is a goddamn wizard. That's all I know.
Ben Solak, who used to be with Draft Network, he works for The Ringer now. He sent out a tweet earlier today saying everything that they're hearing is the top 5 is going to be holy fuck I didn't see that happening.
I think Tyree Wilson is going number 2 overall. Like that is my gut
Said it with Cap.
feel
Yep.
at this moment. And that
They'll regret that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
But that is the home run as a draft junkie that we would be asking for, because that's just basically like lighting a bomb in the draft room, and how much fun that we would just be able to have with that pick.
Oh my God. We see it all the time. I'll say this, and I said it a long time
Just
ago,
real
and
quick.
I got a lot of shit
For the
it.
patron mock draft, Keys guy is putting guys out there that he's looking at for his pick in the first round if other patrons are interested.
Save that quiddy pay shit for Monday, please. But oh God, he made me forget what I was gonna say. What was I saying?
I have no idea. I'm sure it was awful. But
Damn
go
That's what
no,
I
a
needed.
lot of
That's
these
what I
GMs are just guys. They've gotten position, and they're doing mock drafts to kind of set the tone here, and it's been historically the same way. I mean, we do these redrafts for a reason, and
oh yeah,
I'm old enough to remember the Jags passing on Hutchinson for Walker. And I thought it was dumb then, and it's still dumb today. So
one of the worst,
the reality of that, exactly,
worst things ever. I can you imagine how much farther Jacksonville would have gotten in the playoffs with Hutchinson instead of Walker? It's night and day.
Exactly.
It's night and day.
That's athlete. That's the kid AA from Northwestern versus Will Anderson. Like you see,
you could play him in middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you see these guys run track and jump out of the gym and have all these athletic numbers, and then you pop in the tape and it's like Jalen Carter just didn't jump out at me. Neither did Peter Skoronsky. And the Skoronsky thing is going to be, he's a Chicago guy. Put all of those motherfuckers up there. Well, the kid from Connecticut, it's in my backyard here. He's going to be on the air. Chicago can go Skoronsky. It's lazy.
Yeah,
it's lazy. He
sounds
best
like
offensive,
a bear, right?
Sounds like a bear.
No Chicago reporters went to Northwestern, so they're never going to talk about him.
Thank God. Thank God.
And it's like, come on, show me. I want to see the tape of him. Shane shared a tweet and showed me the guy talking. It's Skoronsky going against Van Ness. Of course, he doesn't pick the play. Van Ness just drives him into the fucking next nickel seats and goes and hits the quarterback. He doesn't choose that. He chooses another play where Skoronsky supposedly wins, but he doesn't win. He gets pushed back into the backfield. The defensive lineman ripped
Jeff
inside.
Schwartz. It was Jeff Schwartz.
Jeff Schwartz.
Yeah, he's like, this is a win all day. Well, it technically was for Skoronsky against Van Ness, but if you extend the play and watch the play, Van Ness peels off of Skoronsky and tackles the quarterback for a loss on the sideline.
Yeah.
Van Ness is showing the motor to keep he's controlling Skoronsky to see where the pocket is. Yes, Skoronsky got backed up right into the pocket and then recoiled. He's got great feet. There's no doubt about it. He's got great feet. The short arms don't even really scare me. It's the lack of aggressiveness. He fit blocks so many. He's doing a pull. He's pulling against Nebraska, and Nebraska's defensive end number 2 comes up the field, and he fits himself to block. And I'm like, this isn't. Watch Darnell Wright trap and put somebody on. Watch DeJuan Jones come down and just utterly just wash the Penn State defensive lineman. Just fucking takes Sam Mustafer's brother and throws him into the popcorn machine and then goes down the field and picks up a linebacker. that stuff is what you want to see on tape. And if you're a patron, you'll know this stuff. It's not even close. So I will be utterly upset with Skoron. You could put, I don't even know who I would take. I think I'd rather have Skoronski than Carter. Jalen Carter. Because Jalen Carter Jalen Carter with Skoronski, he's gonna work his ass off. I didn't know Olin was working with him. I honestly didn't. And so that gives me good vibes because I believe in Olin. So but Skoronski, I believe, is going to play inside in the Bears cars. Kyle Long, we got a guard. Tevin Jenkins, we could put him to guard. What do you think is going to happen with Skoronski? We're going to put him to guard.
No, we're going to move him to tight end. We're going to do the Sewell because his footwork is so good that we
Dustin Lyman over here.
That's
move him to tight end.
Game on.
Wake Forest.
Oh God,
I remember that draft.
Tight end.
I'm like, he's a linebacker, and they put tight end up on the screen. I'm like, what's going on?
Moved him to tight end.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He never did it, Cars.
Oh, he tried. Never forget the curly long hair running out there, but never was going to be a thing.
So you guys want some on-the-fly breaking news?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just let me find the drop here.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
There he is.
Caden Whitlow.
Don't hit me.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Cars. I'm sorry.
Has just been named general manager of the Chicago Bears and is going to be doing his live mock draft right now.
Oh, you're putting him on the spot.
On the TTNL Network airwaves. Yes.
Oh boy, no pressure. But if I'm in a mock,
he had 4 girls in his room, in the green room. No, not that one.
Cleared them out. So we're good now.
He's like, I'm the GM, bitch.
Shark on him?
Fuck out of here.
He's giving them a fucking vacuum. Can you clean up my room? Put the shark on.
No, that was the look back at the 2013 draft. So we can kill that one. Yeah. I'll get the.
I thought that
Let me get it up. Let me get it up here. That's good.
Caden Whitlow, if you're just tuning in, is one of our great producers here at TTNL. He does a bunch of graphics and video. Every week he does the look back in the intro. He is a sophomore at Drake?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore.
A few weeks left.
Single.
Ready to mingle.
He does have the raccoon eyes, Cars. Do you see him? He's been studying the late night hours.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Don't worry, those eyes will get back to you when you're 40, and they'll do the same. Constantly.
Wait till you see what your eyes look like when you're 40 playing bingo 6 nights.
Yeah, I'm sure that's terrible.
I thought he was 50. Huh? Who knew?
I think he is. So, Caden, the draft has started, and with the first overall pick, the Carolina Panthers have selected quarterback Bryce Young out of the University of Alabama. Houston bucks conventional wisdom, and they actually do go quarterback with C.J. Stroud, number 2 from Ohio State. Arizona stays at number 3 and drafts Will Anderson. Indy gets a quarterback, Anthony Richardson from Florida. And number 5, Tyree Wilson heads to the Pacific Northwest. Detroit adds to their offensive line. After
really
interesting,
they draft Paris Johnson Jr.
6.
Wow.
The Las Vegas Raiders have The Las Vegas Raiders have selected cornerback Christian Gonzalez, and the Atlanta Falcons have just turned in their card, and it's a bit of a shocker. I'm glad he's off the board. They have selected edge rusher. I know Gridiron Assassin, the Raiders fan's going to be fucking happy because they just took Who? Miles Murphy.
That's a classic Raiders pick.
2.0. There we go.
So let me
Raiders
add this
fan,
to the
Tappy.
screen. So
Gridiron Assassins loving his corner too.
GM Caden Whitlow, you have
The phone is
Jalen
ringing.
Carter. Yes, it is ringing, but we're not going to unveil those yet.
Oh, okay.
Put it on the
Jalen
screen,
Carter.
he says. Yes, I get it. I will.
Put it
Thank
on
you.
the screen. Let me get my glasses.
Jalen Carter,
on, I am
Bijan,
thrifty.
Broderick, Skaronski's still out there. Lucas.
Are we
Van
going?
Ness.
So we're going no trade downs. We're just going picks.
No, we have
No,
trade
you
offers.
can do what you want.
Let's bring them
You
up.
want
So
to
your
trade
first,
Cole Kmet out of town?
I would
do
be
it.
all over this one. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is a fucking train wreck, and they're offering their 2024 first round draft pick plus pick
19.
number 19 for number 9. I would be very interested.
What was
in
the
that
second
one.
one?
He's got
The
2
next
offers.
one is from the Dallas
is
Cowboys.
throwing a bunch.
They're
and a
they're
second.
offering pick 26, pick
Jordan
58,
Lewis.
pick 90. Their second rounder in 2024 in cornerback Jordan Lewis.
Jordan
So-
Lewis is a baller out of Michigan.
I am in love with that first rounder from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I like the Bucks one.
Cars.
You get 3 first next year. Would be pretty nice if you did that.
Cars, what's your take?
As much as I would love to add another second rounder, I think that Tampa first rounder is going to be even more valuable than the Carolina one. So yeah, I would.
Yeah, I think you still take a tackle at 19.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Can I counter? Can you counter and say I want a fucking 3rd round pick as well from Tampa this year?
That's up to the GM. You want to try that, Mr. Whit?
Yeah, try it. We'll go ahead.
Go in there. Tell him you want a 3rd as well.
What, Shane? I'm a little concerned about this GM. He's really just laying down for the head coach over there. It doesn't seem like he's.
I think that they're going to decline this. I'm thinking you're probably going to have to throw them back something. But let's see what they say. Maybe they'll surprise us. It was declined.
It was.
I'm happy with the 2 first.
Okay.
Go back to the trade.
So you're talking. You want to pull this?
So
you
you're
want to
taking
this
this.
one?
You're taking the trade. Now, wait a second.
I think
We
Ryan
got the
Poles
John
would
Robinson.
sprint to the fucking podium. I think
Yeah.
he'd do a line of cocaine the whole way there.
Sorry,
And-
what? I'm in. What? What? Sorry.
I think he would. But
Yeah, I think that's a good deal.
so we're gonna consummate this trade as they.
You
We're
did
not
get a
playing just
starting
the tip.
corner out of the
We're
other
putting that.
trade.
We're putting the whole thing in.
And this is a family show, Shane. Don't
Right.
forget that. So
No,
Bam.
he's not. Only
So they
TTNL
take
family.
they did take the player that they should have taken. I wouldn't
Yeah.
draft him, but so Jalen Carter. This is falling pretty good. Other than Miles Murphy, Paris Johnson are probably the 2 biggest surprises so far. I'd say in the top 10. But let's see. I'm assuming maybe we may see Broderick Jones go off the board here. Let's see.
I mean,
Look at that.
Decker
Here it
is 30.
All right. So
Goodbye, JSN. Thank you.
Jigba,
2 of my least
Skaronski,
favorite.
Addison, Quentin Johnson.
See, that's a wide receiver run that
Yep.
can theoretically happen, and I would laugh hysterically if it ever did, because
My guess here is you're going to see
Oh, and
cornerback Devin Witherspoon
yeah,
probably next year.
I think Bijan. Oh, you got
Yeah,
it.
so there's a little cornerback run now. Detroit is back up,
yep, there we go.
and there you see the run in the secondary.
Yeah, look at this.
So
You got guys
yeah,
that would have taken at 9 still
these-
there.
these trades get a little bit out of hand, so we're gonna reject.
Yeah, I know.
They get a little bit
past
crazy.
Some of the players get kind of crazy, even though
I get sent 50 mock drafts a day, and they're like, "I came away. Yes, we have a 47-man rookie class. It's fine, but I also have 116 picks next year. It's gonna be so dope."
I think a guy on this network used to do those, but
Yeah.
I digress.
So here we are. This is the interesting thing because Cars brought this point up yesterday. Cars could 100% be talked in to Bijan Robinson right here.
It's one of those moves where you're at that range. It gets. Listen. I'm not saying it's something I would.
I know where I'm
do.
going. I know where I'm going, but
gee, I wonder. I wonder. As part of your Cole Komet fan club, you want the guy dating his sister, so I understand where you're going.
I see
Phil.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys I would take right here.
Let's see if I can. I think Phil is looking at Bijan. I think Phil's looking at Van Ness.
Yeah.
Phil's looking at Foskey. Phil's looking at Deontay Banks and Brian Pressey. Was that 6 or was that 5?
Missed Kalijah Cansey.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know how much of a reach Cansey would be here, but
Kalijah
I don't know exactly.
Cansey
Yeah,
would be the guy.
I really like that dude, but I don't know. I don't know if
him
it'd be a reach here. Like, I don't know exactly. I guess I haven't seen some of the recent mocks where he's going, but
he is
Darnell
falling
Wright.
a little bit. Darnell Wright is the way that I would go because
Darnell
to me,
Wright, Cansey, and Van Ness would be, and Foskey's one of the most underrated players in his
He's
own
all over the place.
Oh
Dude,
my God,
he is
Foskey.
outstanding. His motor never stops.
Lauren Cox
I would
today,
have no problem.
Lauren
taking
Cox
Foskey.
today had him
I
available
love
at
Foskey.
61, and he was debating whether to take him at 61 or 64. And I'm like, holy fuck, pull the trigger, bro.
yeah.
Foskey is phenomenal.
So GM Caden, who are your top 3 you're looking at here?
Don't
while you're
listen
on the
to
clock?
me. I want you.
my top
Depth
3, I
just
think,
want you to make the right
probably
decision.
Darnell Wright, Cansey, and Van Ness are probably the top 3.
Okay, so we know that Cansey would be an awful pick here, so I don't want to influence you.
But I mean, you would get fired on the spot normally for that as a pick. So, but if that's what you want to do, we'll
all your
support
blow
you.
up dolls are now deflated in that closet.
Just remember, everyone, them talking shit about Cansey because I know this kid is.
It's 100% your pick. We're not gonna bust your balls. So you go with who you're comfortable with. This is Caden Whitlow's.
This is
your
down to
moment.
19, and look at these players though. Just for the
there's
exercise, this is
a lot of talent there.
And you picked up a 2024 first rounder.
That's probably top 5.
Yeah, Tampa Bay is going to be a fucking train wreck.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. There are a couple I can't wait.
I will say this one last point before you make your pick. At this point, with these names, I'd be upset with Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree with
You know
that
what
as
I'm
well.
saying?
Yep.
Just to be honest, as highly rated as I have him.
Yeah, I would
based
be
on
all
what I
over
see.
Van Ness and Darnell Wright, and I wouldn't be upset with either. But those would be my top 2, and I would have a pretty good drop off for 3 and 4
on both of those. Yeah. I mean, it's my thing is if this is a season that you really want to see who Justin Fields is, it makes more sense to get, again, the guy that I think transcends scheme more than hope to get a scheme guy later on. That's the biggest glaring hole for him. And so if you want to see if he's worth it and you want to give him the launch, what did Jalen Hurts have? 2 really good tackles to protect him. So that's the way that I would go.
All right. I think Cars may convince me. He might convince me here.
No one should convince you.
He's convinced me that way. It makes sense. He brings up a good point. I don't know. I was just looking at the state of the D line.
Let me make one last point.
That's the only thing that gets me.
Oh God! Shane, close the door. Shane, close the door.
I have no. You're looking for a 3 technique, right? You wanted to sign Larry Ogunjobi. He's 6'1" or 6'2" Ogunjobi. Kalijah Cansey as a 3 technique's motor never stops, and it's a huge need and fit. And if you
Yeah, but why
listen
would you
to
ever-
Marinelli,
Why would you ever
listen
take
to him.
Cansey over Van Ness, who could provide you so much versatility, plus has the size, plus has the motor?
because I believe Cansey gets it done inside in pass rush scheme. Like it just continues to happen. Now, yes, he'll get combo blocked sometimes, and his run defense sometimes. It's not all the time. That'll be something he works on, but he will be your best pass rusher. No doubt.
So we have 45 seconds on the clock.
All right. I'm going to go.
There's my final point for you.
I'm going to go with Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright,
There it is.
tackle, Tennessee.
Darnell Wright.
The pick is in. And there we go. And now we're off. So I'm going to run this to 25, Caden. And then we're going to pause it, and we're going to talk about something. There goes Van Ness. You see the run. You see how this
went
works.
to the
I'm
Giants.
actually impressed that they're doing this. You see the little run, the run on defensive lineman here. So Bijan is still there. At this, Cansey is still available. We have some extra draft capital. Mr. GM, are you willing to wait, or are you exploring a trade up?
I'd probably still wait, to be honest. So
Cars is not going to kill you now, so that's probably a good decision.
I'm terrified of him, so I'm not going to do that. He's
all right. We're going to run this through the first round.
There it is. I told you he ain't getting by the Saints.
Yeah. Nolan Smith.
Bijan fell out of the first.
Yeah.
Bijan is out of the first.
Which is, again, it is a possibility, which will be crazy because
if you're the Buffalo Bills, how the fuck do you pass on Bijan for Josh Downs?
Because you think your best running back is your quarterback?
Jesus.
Yeah, there's no way the Bill. That's a great point by you. There's no way. Even Dallas, I believe, would take Bijan. I really do. Even with the injured Pollard franchise,
yeah,
you protect yourself there. Go ahead.
So night one is over. You still have your extra draft capital.
Well, the Saints traded up to get Cansey. Look at that.
Oh yeah, they back to back.
Of course they do, because the New Orleans Saints get rid of draft picks like someone else does tweets when they're not tweeting anymore. So I mean, it just never ends.
So GM Caden, are you interested in making any phone calls to move up, or are we riding this out? Is there any positions that you want to look at?
What are we, like 15 picks down or 20 down?
We are pick 53, 61, 64.
So 20, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 20 picks away. 19 picks.
At that point, you're probably looking at like a 53 and 64 to move up.
So would you do 53?
Got the offensive tackle now.
Would you do a 53 and 64? I know this is going to piss off a lot of people. Would you roll the dice on Bijan if you could go up?
I mean, I don't think I'd almost rather go for Zay Flowers than Bijan if I was going to go up for one of these players. But
yes, my number one receiver.
I don't think I still would go up 20 picks for him, to be honest. I'd probably sit where I'm at. But.
All right, so I'm going to run it. How many more picks do you want me to run?
Would you trade up as you run through? Would you trade up for Bijan?
No. Not right here. I wouldn't. Nope.
Yep.
So, Caden, how many picks do you want me to go before I pause?
Go like 10.
Okay.
All right. He's going 10.
Here we
Hang
go.
10, dude.
So, Musgrave, Jones. There goes Bijan.
My boy Jones went. But we were going to pick another tackle.
Torrance
All
is
right.
another
Tillman.
guy I'm interested to see where he goes. Tillman, I think, is going to be a
Leon,
really,
my boy.
really good fun wideout.
Tillman's in my top
Look at-
5
Boy,
receivers.
look at the Cardinals' first 2 picks.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
pretty crazy.
Got a shitty owner and great picks.
Oh, my guy Jameer's still hanging out there.
10 picks away.
Zay Flowers still out there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm. But I don't know.
Fuck.
You got Michael
Cole
Smith
to the Jets, baby.
from Minnesota still there.
So you're 10, 11? So, yeah, we're pick 53. So are we rolling here?
I mean, go pick by pick, actually.
Okay.
One at a time, Shane. The drama. Emmanuel.
Look at him taking. Look at him take control of the draft room. It's impressive.
He's making nerds.
Jalen Hyatt. Well, we know we ain't trading with Green Bay.
God,
Yeah,
no.
keep going. Go on one.
Thule. Tipman.
Tipman. Just the tip, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still.
Yeah,
nobody,
I mean,
there's no reason at this point
that's
with the
what
way
I'm
it's going.
saying.
Yeah.
I think just keep going. Is it
Ah,
the Lions?
Detroit, those mother.
I'd go to the
No, he can go to the orthodontist with David Montgomery in Detroit. They'll have fun together with fixing their braces. Their call. Tampa's first pick. No, that's not. They did trade up.
They moved up, yeah.
Picked
All right, so
Levis and
51,
Arcane.
52, and 53. You still have Jameer Gibbs.
Holy cow. Gibbs.
Yeah. John Michael Schmitz.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I would.
Caden, are you sitting? I
Yeah,
think
just go to 53. I don't think there's any reason to move out 2 spots.
I think you may see
Gibbs is
couple-
going right here.
I think you may see a couple of picks right here that we all fucking hate. Well, let's see
Gibbs
how it
and
goes.
John Michael
Yeah.
Smith are next,
I
right?
totally agree. I think they're the next 2.
They're the fucking next. Two.
Oh,
the nickel. I like Clark. Oh, Mozzie.
so this is a
Maisie?
legitimate
Mozzie.
offer here that I would.
My number one nose.
So the Giants have called and they want pick 53 and pick 136 for 57 and 89.
So
Caden.
here's
I
what you have to. You got to
I
look
think
at.
I will probably stay at this pick. And
There you go.
probably take Schmitz. I doubt he's at 53 in the actual draft, but
Doesn't
Love it.
concern you that he's an old man.
no, not really. I mean, he's 24, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be 25.
So
mature.
I mean, he's a talent. I mean, either way, he's gonna help us out. You know, you're at least 5-6 years out of him, maybe.
Not Jaden, it's Caden.
So can you be tucked into Jameer Gibbs? No?
No.
All right. So we're pulling
his ground.
So we are officially rejecting this from the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. And we are turning in the card for center John Michael Schmitz from Minnesota.
I think this is a
There
great
we go.
pick by Caden
Yes.
Whitlow right there.
All right. So to
Now you
recap,
got two of the
we have Darnell Wright and John Michael Schmitz. And don't forget, we have the 2024 first rounder from the Tampa Bay Bucks in that trade down, along with
got 3
Darnell Wright.
first round picks next year.
So
Under Caden
we
Whitlow.
have picks 61 and 64 coming up. So are we riding it out here? Is there anybody that you're interested in flipping? Because we have 2 fourths. Do we have 2 fifths? Yes. we
Yeah, I
would.
think so.
Right. Yeah. And no
I
6
wish
and
it,
2
they
sevens.
put what round because I'm not number savvy with
Yes.
those.
Well, pick 64 is the first pick of the 3rd round. Pick 103 is the first pick of the 4th round.
Correct.
And then 136 is the first pick of the 5th round. And then we have 148. So that pick 133 is the 4th rounder that we got for Robert Quinn from Philly. So
Yeah.
are you?
103,
Are we
103 is the 4th round pick, top
the
of the
first
4th?
pick of the 4th round? Yep.
That's going to
So
be a
Payton,
hot market item on Friday night.
Day 3. Yep.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah,
we
day
rolling forward, or are you
I think
exploring any
just
type
keep
of trade up?
going.
Okay.
I don't think I'll trade up.
He's staying put. He's going to
All
let the
right.
draft come to him.
You gonna go
He's
pick by pick
eyeballing-
here, Mr. Whitlow?
No, you can go all the way.
James
All right.
K
Like
wants
it.
the draft to flow. Let it flow. Let yourself go.
All right.
Slow
Is there
and
any
low.
fucking way that Buffalo is going to take this fucking running back here 2 picks away from us? And I'm going to be pissed
Jameer
off.
Gibbs
They'll probably
Jesus
take
Christ.
Hooker or something. No, in the simulator.
and Hooker.
There he goes. I knew
There
it.
he is. There he is.
Jack Campbell. All right. So Philly
Jack
has
Campbell.
offered pick 71 in their 3rd rounder in 2024 for 61 and 28 and pick 218.
No, I need another
Trying to
pick
see who's
this year.
available.
Yeah, it was a third
Yeah.
next year. If it's a second next year to move up to into
They
the
do
second
have
round.
pick 94.
So add 94 and see what. Oh, it's up to Caden.
I don't know if that's
He
enough.
doesn't want to trade. He's
Even though, I mean,
eyeballing
even then you could trade it because you're only going back 3 spots, but I don't know. Well, who's all available?
Oh, you're going back 10.
No, you're
Going
going
back
back 10.
Well, I
But you
mean,
have
like
going into the
you're a pick
third.
3 spots
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
If you wanted a player.
I wouldn't want to give them up. Me, I
don't
wouldn't
think
want to
that third
get
would
out
be
of this.
high. So
Right. So
He's
reject this.
rejected.
yeah.
All right. Boom. So we are officially on the clock. Now, and what is there any positions you want to look at, Caden, or you want to?
Caden Whitlow, the super producer.
Do you want to
I would
replace
say
Justin
defense.
Fields here with Hendon Hooker?
I would go
Sophomore.
defense here. Actually, wait. Look at offense.
Drake
What tight ends
College.
are available right now?
DJ.
Shun-
Oh,
Oh, you've got a lot still.
Sammy
Laporta's a
Laporta.
fun one.
Yeah.
Sammy Laporta.
Go to defense.
Look at you. Whitlow's been doing these things at Drake College in his spare time, it seems.
Not enough. No, I did a lot more last year. Shoot.
Any specific position you want to look at?
I mean, I'd like to go D line. To be
There
honest
we
with
go.
you, D line. I'm not. Some of these like guys farther down the board, I'm not as familiar with. But
Keanu Benton.
Benton is the one that I would really
Yeah.
have a hard time looking past right here.
Yep. And
Benton's
Adam
looking
Johns did say that he knows that the Bears are very interested in Dexter, but there's another. If you built your own defensive lineman,
You'd want
you want him to
like-
look like Javon Dexter, but then there's also, on-off button.
Dexter to me is a no. It's a pass.
Yep.
I just don't see it. It's exactly what you said, Shane.
Yeah.
On and off.
I mean, look at him with the player that he's there with, right? And Benton. Night, if you put the two of them next to each
yeah.
other, play by play,
Benton,
take
by
jerseys
far.
off. Yeah, that's the way you're going to go.
Oh,
Who's the chat?
absolutely. The chat room,
Interesting.
someone
They're
wants a
saying Benton.
Jomo. James Hunter, Adeptus. I'm going to throw some love in the chat, give you some love. Adeptus wants Benton.
yeah.
James K wants to know which corners are available. Well, DJ Turner is a fucking beast. I love
his
DJ
speed
Turner.
is something else. Yeah.
He's very good with the ball. Very good with the ball.
I know you're not going to be taking him here.
Yo,
The Bears have had this guy in
Eric.
today as a 30 visit.
Really?
6'3", 965 Raz. Like, that's a big ass corner. That's wildly athletic.
Yeah.
He was a 30 visit for the Bears.
Gives you a little bit of the Tariq
I think he'll be
Woolen.
there. I think he'll be there later in the third.
Yeah.
Plus, you got
So
a pick coming
not to
back
rain
up.
on your guys parade, but we have 35 seconds remaining on the clock.
Let's go with Benton.
There it is. Caden Whitlow.
So RAS of 8.9, 63309. The Bears get an interior defensive lineman. We're turning in the card.
RAS in there. Yes.
What's that?
I like how they
Boom.
put the RAS in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another good pick by Whitlow.
Yeah,
Looks.
I would be. This doesn't do anything for you here either, but
no, not that much of a fall.
So this is 64 for 67, and then you'd be going from 218 to 139. That's an interesting.
Be higher offers than this.
Is that anything that you're interested in here, Payton, or are we sitting?
I just don't know. I mean, I just don't know if it's a player to take right here. Like what player I want.
Well,
that's
when if there's no one I exactly want, it's like you could move 3 spots down if there's no one you really love there. But
we did talk about the tight ends. You got DJ Turner, who's in my top 5 corners in this draft. Sammy Laporta, Luke Schoonmaker. 2 of my favorites there at tight end.
I think that I don't know.
You're weak at edge.
Yeah, edge would be nice.
Yeah, just don't take Andre Carter.
Why? Just because he has to rebuild his complete body and all his mechanics and everything. What else could go wrong?
So for edges here, I like Harrison. I just don't think I like him here. I would. I mean, if we're gonna go edge, Cars, are you in on McGuire?
No.
On land?
Not really. No, I don't like when I look at this. That position doesn't at this point in the draft doesn't do anything for me.
Yep.
These are later. I would pass on the edges based on that. I do like the Cox Jr. kid from Florida, but again, later, not third.
When's our next pick?
We are
2/3
4 and 103.
1/3, right?
40.
Yeah, you have 1/3, and then you go into the 2/4, 2/5, and 2/7.
Let's go with Laporta.
There you go.
Oh.
Getting some help.
There he goes.
The tight end position.
There goes DJ Turner, very next pick to Houston.
There goes Dexter, thank God. He made the right choice passing, getting Benton. If you're just tuning in, Caden Whitlow, our producer, thrown into the fray. He wanted to be in bed by 11, but Shane got him into the mock.
Nobody told me
I'm an hour behind you guys. So.
Nobody told me that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, he is an hour behind.
You want to trade all your picks so you can go to bed, you pussy? I mean, is that what
you got center? He got Darnell Wright in round 1 and got center Michael David Schmitz there in round 2. Then comes
John
back
Michael David, whichever way we want that to be.
Michael David, Michael Scott,
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, whoever it is.
All right.
So what are we looking here? So according to their board, the highest ranked guy is Sidney Brown.
Ooh, Zach Evans.
Yeah, that's what I looked at
big
too.
Zach Evans guy, right?
You are? Oh, I would have never guessed.
Potentially going running back.
How tall is he? Yeah.
He's tall.
I'm kidding. Sorry.
Man, if he was only 5'4" and white, you know, Phil would love him even more.
Come up. Be right back. I gotta use the bathroom.
The Stetson Bennett has hit again. Yes.
So, what positions are you looking at, Caden?
I don't know. I'd like to see if there was an edge, but I don't know if there's any at this point, unless we're reaching still, right?
I feel like it. Yeah.
So, yeah,
I mean, like for me, it gets to like Louisville and that kid Diaby much later on. If
Pickens is a guy that I know that the Bears are very interested in.
Yes,
I could be talked into adding another defensive tackle here, quite honestly. 6'3", 291, 922 RAS. It's very similar to 2004 when the Bears doubled up at interior defensive lineman with Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson. Yeah. I mean, running backs are very
that I think in terms of value, running back is probably like the best. This might be the best spot to go on.
Now, Cars, what are you all in on Zach Evans here? Are you a Johnson fan?
No, Zach is really my favorite here.
Yep.
There's a good bit of patience. He offers a little bit of a different running style, but he's been very good at the one cut stuff too. So I feel like he's a nice mix in between kind of Foreman and Herbert for me.
Did you be talked into this animal right here, Caden Whitlow?
Oh, a big framed wideout is it Mingo, one of the two big ones?
6'1", 220, and 986 RAS. I mean, I don't think there's a chance in hell he's available
in the 4th
during the draft here. I would be probably, and I'm a big Xavier Hutchinson fan, but I would take Mingo over Hutchinson. But oof, man, you're telling me you're giving Justin Fields, Darnell Wright, John Michael Schmitz, Sam Laporta, and Jonathan Mingo. That's somebody mentioned it today on some podcast. This would officially be called the No Excuses Tour. For Justin Fields, you do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think you could go with that. Honestly, I mean, I'm not too upset with our running back room at the moment, to be honest. Like, it's not a.
And there's still guys there too.
Yeah.
I mean, Evans. I know Phil doesn't love Bigsby. I like Bigsby. I think he's going to be a better pro than he was. I'm a Johnson fan. Also,
I like Miller as a different type as well. He's a fun. He's a fun player. When you look at Deuce Vaughn, much later on, is intriguing, even though he's so
Philish.
Tiny. Yes, Philish. We're now using that all the time. Yeah, that's up there with the Trebilizer.
Who are you going with?
I think you go Mingo here.
Okay. All right. So let's pull the trigger. Phil's going to love that pick, by the way.
Yeah.
So there goes Evans. I mean, man, look at Arizona's having a nice fucking draft.
They have 2 running backs.
Yeah, 2 running backs. Wow.
Well, they have 3 because that's what Kyler Murray is too.
Right. All right, so we're going to be, 133 here. So this next pick for us is going to be the Robert Quinn pick that we acquired from Philadelphia in that trade. So, I mean,
I think we should probably try to take an edge with that.
I think anywhere on the defensive line, if one is available.
Yeah.
Zach Pickens, looking at that right there.
Yeah, I don't think you could. Yeah, I don't think you could pass him because you have another pick here at 136, Caden.
Yeah.
But man,
I mean, I'm happy with D tackle for sure.
So go pick. You're going to go Pickens here?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So let's pull the trigger there.
While you were gone, he drafted Jonathan Mingo as well.
Oh, 2 of my favorite players in the draft.
And he just took Zach Pickens. He came back with another interior lineman.
Look at you.
So, yeah, we're not going to get into the trade market here because we'll be going till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Man, Rashawn Johnson would be very interesting to me if he's there in round 5.
Popo is an athlete at linebacker too. You look at
we have him.
I'd like good defense again.
Yeah,
Popo.
So Landon McGuire still here. KJ Henry.
Our guy there from Iowa, Caden. An
edge
corner from Iowa.
Moss?
Yes, bro. Is Riley up? There he
Riley
is.
Moss. Or you could take the better corner right below him and Garrett Williams.
Oh.
Fine.
Riley Moss.
This is another underrated edge, I feel like, too, from LSU, Allie Gay. Nobody's talking about him too much, but
Part of me kind of wants to go McGuire.
you want to go
Missouri?
Yeah.
He's got
So
some
he's got the
things
6'4",
you like
268,
about him.
9'5",
He really is an athlete, but
Yep. Do you want to look at land at all, or you're just fixated on
Yaya Diaby is another guy that gets after it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So this who you taking?
Yeah,
Caden?
go with McGuire.
McGuire.
Look
All
at
right.
you. Here goes my
So
Riley
now-
Moss.
Gonna be at
We might get him. We
148.
might get him.
Yeah, I think you could.
There goes
come
Garrett.
back and get Moss there.
Got
I'm happy with
him.
Moss at this pick.
Would you pass for Sean Johnson here, Phil?
Yes, because you have Evans, so I would totally get Moss.
Did we take him?
No, we didn't draft Evans.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't get Evans.
He took
thought you
Laporta and
took
Mingo.
Zach.
No, he was talking
I
about
thought
it.
you said Zach Evans.
I couldn't. You can go
Oh,
anywhere
then
you
you
want. I couldn't pass.
No, Zach Pickens.
Yeah,
Zach,
Zach
Pickens.
I
Yeah.
thought he got Evan, the two Ole Miss players. Got you.
No.
He didn't.
No. I think I'm still leaning Moss here. It's gonna be an Iowa like bias,
I'm
but
with you here. I would
All right.
totally go Moss here. I believe Moss should go in the third round. I really believe that kid is a stud.
So that's
Just
the pick.
understands
Riley
the
Moss.
ball.
yeah.
This guy's hitting it out of the park, even though he missed Evans.
So now we got there goes Charlie.
Now
Jones.
you're looking at running back here. Now you're looking at wide receiver.
Well, you
right?
got a long wait. You're waiting till 218
Yeah, we're
now.
waiting a bit.
Oh,
There goes Schoonmaker.
just remember Riley Moss.
Already forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna let us forget him.
It's one of my favorite players in this draft. Riley Moss. As we scroll down.
Another underrated offensive lineman. Oh, he just went City Sal there. The Rams took him from Eastern Michigan.
Lord knows they'd have needs all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Aiden O'Connell
For sure.
to the Seahawks.
Yeah. Jim Miller.
Interesting.
Yes.
You want to share that story, Phil?
Someone sent a picture of him with some other guy, the actor. Did you see that? Because
No.
they look exactly alike.
Yeah. All right, so we're up to pick 218. I know Caden said he doesn't really know a lot of the older guys, but is there any position that
What running backs is available?
Rodriguez from
nice.
Kentucky Hull is a hardworking.
Yeah, there's no one there that makes me.
You can go way down the board to our guy Matt Waldman's boy from BYU, number 529.
What is he, 38 though at this point after his Mormon mission?
No, didn't he transfer? He transferred.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, that sucks.
You already got center. Let's see the wide receivers real quick.
What about there was an interesting defender there. Who Cars was it you talking about? Fahoko? Or was it you, Phil? Somebody was.
Wasn't me, but he's a
friend of mine's son plays at.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Right. Would you say, Phil, look at the wide receivers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkansas is such a small school, so I probably wouldn't go.
They're only in the SEC, Shane. They're a small school.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would have no problem pulling the trigger on Tyson Badgett here. I'll tell you that.
Badgett
Quarterback.
or my guy.
Quarterback. You sure you don't want Cunningham, Shane?
No. No, I do not.
There's someone from Notre Dame you'd like to grab, Shane?
I like a couple of the Notre Dame players this year, believe it or not. I would be all over Foskey.
Tight end. Foskey. I could have taken Foskey with that first round pick that we took right. Or that Caden.
Yeah, are there any
Nick Herbig is still out there? Wow, that'd be kind of a shock for me.
Well, that's a good developmental rush guy. Try hard.
6'2", 240.
Tries hard. Is Yaya on the board? Is he still
No,
there?
he just gone.
Kid from TCU. Got a little more size to him.
You know what? Dylan Horton is a very good football player.
Yep, he is.
That would be a really good pick here, Caden. Dylan Horton.
Phil, I know you probably didn't check out the.
Yeah, I was gonna say interior line, maybe.
Remember the offensive lineman that I gave you, Garage from Florida? Have you dove into him yet? Got to check him out.
He is on the tape of Torrance that we did.
He's
I
down.
gotta look at him
a little bit, but Caden, who'd you say look at guards?
I was just looking at some interior players, but yeah. I don't know if there's anyone you guys like there at all, but
I mean, for me, I know Carter's. You're not in the quarterback wheelhouse, right here.
No, this pushes well out of my range.
Yeah,
I am in the. I would take my guy
Herbig,
from Georgia,
Carl Brooks, but then you're drafting that's a third defensive tackle. But
I think you go Herbig.
Yep,
I like that pick.
There he goes.
There you go.
Good. I mean, we got an Iowa, we got a Wisconsin, so I think we've covered the requirements. Just missed a Northwestern, but we can priority free agent one of those and be fine.
You can get the running back Hall. Might get him here. The second to last pick. There he is, Evan Hull.
Get me a fullback.
We have one pick.
Oh,
One more
staying
pick, right?
strong, man. He's staying strong for us.
Didn't the Bears have talked to Valladay? I thought at one point there was another wide receiver here late.
He did.
Was Xavier Gibson? I think he was the other one that they talked to.
Wasn't there a Jackson State kid?
There's some little dude from BYU we can.
Matt Landers from tiny Arkansas.
We're on the clock. Yeah. So what are you looking at here, Caden?
Evan Hull.
The 946 Raz. This I'm pretty
Are
sure.
you going to be the Ryan
Arizona
Pace? Are you going to
State.
not take a quarterback, a developmental quarterback?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone there.
That's invented.
Do you wanna-
That's invented.
This guy was in Ryan Cox's class at one point at East Carolina.
His story is
True
unbelievable.
story, yeah.
He's related to a Viking king, a Viking king. He's worked on his craft. He's a guy you bring in free agency, undrafted. But you want to beat the undrafted.
Huh. Well, I don't know. I kind of maybe go running back this late. Just see what the best athlete
There he
is. At
is.
that point.
Get the young kid from Evan Hull from
Best
Northwestern.
athlete is right here. Valladay from Arizona State.
Wait, check Hull's Raz too. Hull has he's an athlete too.
933. Yep. So yeah, whatever.
Hometown. Valladay is a good player, though, too.
Yeah,
It's also the 7th round, so don't sweat it out so much.
That's true. That's true. Let's go with the
The
Arizona
Hawaii.
State kid.
There you go.
So
Bring the
Valladay.
hometown kid in for a tryout.
All right, so there it is.
A
And don't
Whitlow
forget-
draft.
Yeah, let me pop a
Make
picture
sure
of
you
that.
Leave your comments in the YouTube.
Oh, you'll get
See you.
YouTube comments tomorrow. Who the fuck's the young kid with the stupid draft? I played football in 4th grade. I can't believe he took Herbig at 218. He would have been available at 222. Fucking dumbass.
Can't believe they didn't draft anyone from that small school in the SEC, Arkansas.
I'm glad you're reading my blog again, Shane. I'm really glad that you're back at it.
Oh, it's nice. Hey,
Hard.
I couldn't complain at all if this is what they came away with. Next
Yeah, I'm
week.
happy with that, to be honest.
He got 1, 2.
You got to pick first next year, too.
You got
with that
4 of my favorite. Like I always have at least 10B for cards, favorite players in the draft.
I mean, he's getting a
got
great.
4 out of it.
You're getting a couple pluses on the end of the grade just because of this right here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this comment. Look at this comment, Shane. You ready for this? Laporta and Mingo is big dumb in all caps. 2 of my favorite players.
What was your YouTube name?
Football. That's actually starting midfielder for Mbappe in the chat. Mbappe is in the chat right here. He's pissed.
Yeah, it's big dumb. It's big dumb, Caden.
Big dumb.
Big dumb.
Actually, I think it's big smart. I give
I like Laporta.
Laporta.
I don't know.
Mingo.
I think he'll be a good player.
Oh yeah, I'm a.
I think he'll help in the blocking game too. It's not just the receiving option. So
listen,
you get that.
Laporta's tape kind of turned me around based on the Iowa piss poor accuracy of the quarterback, but I love those picks. But anyway, we've done it all.
Team got better. Team got better.
What did you say, Cars? If you gave him a grade, he's in college at the University of Drake.
He just said dumb, not big dumb. So he was a little bit better than football.
All right.
No, I listen. It's kind of like the teachers that grade on a curve. I can't give an A after a draft, but I think that's a solid B plus. Is far.
You would
gotta
say you're setting the stage. You're leaving the bar where you're hanging out with me and Shane. You're going home. You're fucking kind of happy here. You got Darnell
100%. You got
2
way
starters
better
on the line.
Yeah.
I
think you got guys later on that will be rotational players, which is all you can ask. Yeah.
I'm going big smart.
Big smart. Yeah. It's like coming home with It's like coming home with 2 4s from the bar, Caden. At college, you know, they add up.
They add up. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
No. He's way in the 8s. He's in the 8s, in my opinion. This guy's about to shoot a porn.
I don't think you'll see any extensions until like August or maybe like the week of.
I hope trade.
I don't know what just happened. I might be too high right now, but I swear you just said someone's about to shoot a porn.
That's what I heard.
Shane says he's bringing 2 4s home. I said it's 2 8s. He's about to shoot a porn.
All right, good. All right,
Coach
now
You're going to take a shit in your hat and get the hell off the field.
I said 2 4s. He was going to bring football's mom and sister home. That's what I was talking about.
Football.
Oh my goodness.
Space ball. Anyways, football might be a great guy. Hopefully he's here next week.
Shout outs.
Let's go. Kick it to shout outs, Cars. Or
do it.
The short condensed version of it. No one could find it. There it is.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
There you go. Claudia will be back next week. Caden Whitlow stepping in as the moderator. Also had his own draft, and we had the great David Kaplan on the show. And guess what? One of my favorite guys, Cars, coming back on the show. What happened to the music? Oh, there it is. Press the wrong button. That was on me, not Caden. Don't hate on Caden.
Too late.
Cars coming back on the show. Talking draft. We had a lot of fun to get you guys ready. Post it up. March Madness is over. The NBA sucks anyway. The draft is the king. TTNL will be crowned once again the king. You already heard David Kaplan's going to join us from Soldier Field next week for the show. And we got a huge week, Shane, of coverage. You want to talk about that? Saturday, we got Matt Waldman and Coach O and myself breaking down
the O's. Yeah.
skill players. Sunday, draft mob, tackles, centers, John David Schmitz, Jingleheimers, and all of them.
Monday night, the bane of my existence, the patron mock
Shane is
draft.
pressing already.
He's already canceled it 6 times. So
He's
looked
got a
up.
bet on the line.
Yeah, I do. I've found
Who's
Angel
gonna fuck
Bernard's.
it up?
I found Angel Bernard's physical address, and I'm coming for you, Angel. Fuck this up.
Angel, he's banking. You're gonna fuck this up, Angel. I'm just letting you know.
I'm
Ben
busted.
Ricketts, be available in the dugout.
Ben Ricketts, yes, he is the official
Backup
fill-in. So
He's
there will be
official.
undoubtedly people that don't show up. So then we defer to Benjamin
didn't
Ricketts,
know.
and he drafts the best available Utah player at your selection. So.
Or Utah State.
Yes, or Utah State.
Listen, it's going to be a live Monday night with all the patrons taking the role of GM, and we'll be live
Tuesday
Monday.
night will be fight
Tuesday
night
night.
here at TTNL.
Yes,
Phil
Shane
versus
and I are
Shane.
gonna-
Go head to
We
head.
might have a surprise, but I'm still. I got to talk to him tomorrow. It might
So
be
then-
the WWE.
Oh, nice. So
It might be
Wednesday
that.
night, keeping it 100, you're going to see a little different take. Everything is locked in with him now, Phil?
Yep, 100%. We can announce it
Cars
tonight.
boyhood idol, Eric Kramer
Childhood idol.
will be on, and you will get Eric Kramer's live mock draft Wednesday night.
Yes.
For the draft.
Live, Eric Kramer has demanded that he play the role of GM for the Bears and show Ryan Poles how it's
We
done.
told him we had cars scheduled, and Phil, tell them exactly what Eric's response was. Yeah.
Who the fuck is Cars? He doesn't ever.
No, no. He goes, listen, would you rather have cars or would you rather have Kramer? No.
Who the fuck is Cars? I have no idea.
Ass man.
Cars and I will be breaking a little bit of news here. So Thursday, the day of the draft, Cars and I will be going live at 11:30 East with a draft day version of Cars Keys, where Cars is going to have a bunch of fun nuggets and breakdown of the draft. And that day we will be unveiling the live mock draft of Matthew Karstensen live on air. And
Lower
then-
your expectations now. Just keep lowering them.
Draft starts that night at 8 p.m. East. We will be live starting at 7:30. There'll be a lot of surprises as we go through. Hopefully nothing too crazy Chicago Bears wise. We don't want too many surprises because sometimes they don't work out. I'm not sure exactly. Cars, are you gonna be on with us that night?
Well,
off
maybe.
and on. We'll
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
See how it goes. But Friday, Phil is off, and I'm off. I think you are correct.
Yeah, I was laughing at Cars under his Bears. I just saw it. Big smart, big dumb.
Oh, big dumb. Hayden's got big smart.
Yes.
Yes. So Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday morning, probably right around the same time, 11:30 East. Phil and I will be going live for day 2 of the draft early. We'll be talking about some stuff and talking about getting your boards ready for day 2. We will be live that night. The draft starts at 7 p.m. East that night, so we will be live 6:30 p.m. East and take you all the way through rounds 2 and 3. And then Saturday, draft starts at noon. We'll be live at 11:30 a.m. East, and we will probably be in no shape, but it'll be a lot of fun as we finish up the draft with rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7.
We're going to have a lot of surprise guests. Zorich, Grody,
Kramer,
Cap, Kramer,
potentially
Zorich, Big Steve Edwards, Kenneth Davis, Alex Shapiro, all of these guys. Ivan Vargas is going to be back.
Carr's wife is coming on. He doesn't know about that yet. She committed.
Perfect. I can't wait to hear her talk about Bears.
Steph is going to be doing her live mock draft that day.
Perfect.
So let her know, Cars.
Quiddy Pay has committed to come on that show with us. He will be.
And then Sunday, Draft Mob will complete our 8 consecutive days of programming with Draft Mob, where we will be breaking down whoever the Bears' first round pick is live for our TTNL Network patron. Yeah, so if you want to see that comprehensive breakdown, you better go sign up and become a patron immediately.
Lock it in, thetapeneverlies.com. Become a patron. You're going to get the all 22, all access. Shout out to my guy, Chris Harold, who is unbelievable, helping TTNL Network rise to the level of which it is. I can only thank him so much for everything he does in regards to getting us some of the tape and all of the looks that we need to give you the best comprehensive coverage of the draft, free agency out there when it comes to the Chicago Bears. Cars, you have a shout out because I know you got to go. Same with Cade.
No, I appreciate everyone. My special shout out is to Maisie, whose birthday is this weekend. She turns 7. So, as life, we push on. But everybody's been so amazing. I said everything I could say in my video, but I really appreciate everybody during these times.
Happy birthday, Maisie.
Happy birthday, Maisie.
Don't piss that girl off. She takes no shit from anybody.
I am more scared of her than I am of Caden Whitlow, if that puts
That's
it in
probably
perspective.
fair, honestly.
Yeah.
True.
All right,
We had her
gents, I will
drop. I
see
don't know
you.
where it went. All right, Cars.
See you,
Love
Cars.
you, brother. Thanks for
See you,
jumping
guys.
on.
Later.
Solid two 4s coming home from Caden Whitlow. Do you have any shout outs, Caden?
Oh, shout out the chat. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've done shout outs, I swear. Shout out both you and Shane. Good to be back here. It's been a bit, but I'm excited for the draft next week. So
Oh, man, can't wait.
Well, we're excited. I was great that you had, and you're going to help us dress up the channel.
Yep.
Working on some good video promos and everything to get us ready.
Yeah, Caden, I will send you that programming lineup, and remember how we did that one before.
yeah, but I can.
I'll
You always
send you that.
I'll work out the same one, maybe.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
That'll work.
Yes. And Adam Rank, again, obviously, on the draft coverage. Shane, you got a shout out?
Not really. Shout out to Cars. Glad to see him back on the airwaves, going through everything what he's been dealing with. You know, it always sucks. It's never easy. Talk to him a little bit, and just, you know, getting back to some normalcy is always important. And like I told him the other day, you know, he really needs the draft's coming at a perfect time, not for just Bears fans, but for Cars, you know, to get away and kind of, you know, I don't want to say you're never going to turn the page when you lose a loved one, especially your mother, but you can kind of fall into something that you love, and, you know, maybe get some quality time with your friends and your favorite football team, and maybe it'll take your thoughts away just for a few minutes, and that's, you know, mentally very healthy. So if we can help out our guy that way, I'm totally looking forward to that. So yeah, shout out to Cars.
Very well said. Shout out to Cars on top of that. And Maisie for her birthday. Happy birthday, Maisie. Cars, your dad lets you watch this. And you, Cars, for coming on, and your whole family. Shout out to the great David Kaplan for jumping on here despite his busy schedule and his early morning wake up. He makes to the point to come on here and have a lot of fun with us. I really enjoy him. Shout out to everybody in the chat tonight, and especially Shaniqua Henderson, and we'll play that as we roll out. But I want to shout out a new follow, Chris King from Chicago, and his niece, Desiree Sabo, who are new listeners to the channel, and I appreciate Desiree and her support. And Chris King has invited us. He does do tailgate shape.
Very nice.
He's putting his hat in the ring of the TTNL tailgate, getting it ready for next year. I love these people from Chicago at tailgate. Look, there she is. She's coming right there, Kaden. Good job. James K. Bullets, Ben Ricketts, even football. Keys, guys. Corn. All of you guys. Logan. I know Shane hates Logan. We should have a fire.
I don't really hate Logan. Never. I love busting his balls. He loves busting my balls.
Robert McGraw. Shout out to your dad. We'll send some positive energy. Anybody that puts a TTNL in their AVI, look at Robert. Gotta give them love. The Deftest, all of you guys, all of the TTNL family. We're gonna get ready for what is going to be a exhaustive. I've already warned my wife, so shout out to her as we get ready for next week, and the grown man Christmas begins the countdown. For Shane Marsaw and all of you guys out there, great job. Shout out to you, Caden, for the draft. We'll see you guys next week on Keeping It 100. Next week is Eric Kramer as Kramer's mock draft here. So we'll see you then. Man, have a great night. Let's go Bears. I thought they were getting rid of Ted Phillips. He found a way to claw himself.
They only meet every few months. No big.
As Kramer put it, it's like Virginia putting Michael out to cry in the pasture.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Don't stress over it. Okay, I felt better then. See you next time. God bless you all. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let other people know about the Tape Never Lies. God bless you.